And we are live. Hello, everybody.
Let's go.
First time on podcast with Facecam. I usually just have gameplay up. This setup is
Yeah, I
kind of
think
good.
we talked, and I think this is a better format to maintain a discussion, and hopefully results in like the upload version of this when we eventually dump it on the live stream channel. That it will make for the best like rewatch experience too for people that didn't get a chance to catch it live.
Yeah, I am hoping. And because I'm not great with Streamlabs yet, and I haven't tried doing something like this before. You just got a whole lot of negative space down there underneath our face cams, but whenever we show what we're talking about, a little spoiler here in a sec, the logo of whatever it is going to pop up. So that's what my first talking point is going to be. All right, so CJ, what you been up to lately?
Oh man, so the month of April was kind of rough, if I'm being honest. So I am very fortunate that the weather has been like mercifully cool. It seems like we have staved off a proper spring and summer like heat wave coming in. There's been some hot days, but we've like largely staved it off, and I'm like quite surprised by that. Um, but I work sure has felt like I've gotten a yard ahead and they've moved the goal line to the other side of the field.
Mm.
And I've had to do a lot of ass kissing in the last 2 weeks. And I talked about this a bit on my stream that I did last Wednesday for Dragon Quest Heroes.
Right.
Um, but I had to go work in a rock quarry again, which was fun. And I basically had to do, without sharing the whole story over again, I basically had to like redo 6 hours of redundant work again that had already been done for no real reason because the customer was wanting something very, very specific and did not clarify that before we did the work. But it did give me an opportunity to find a new game store on the way home.
Oh, very nice.
So wherever I'm working, because I tend to work pretty far from home most of the time, I will, especially if I'm in an unfamiliar town, I will just Google the name of the city game store and just see what comes up. And if I hit anything other than a GameStop, I know I'm good. And so I have found a lot of different cool places this way. I've found like Full Circle Toys in Noonan. There was
Right.
a place called like Zero Gravity Games in Peachtree City, I think it was, and stuff like that.
Right.
So I find this place, Killer Finds, in Hiram, Georgia, and this place was really cool. I'm actually really looking forward to going back because I barely had time to process what all they had, but the sort of the vibe of this place is very much like a 90s alt rock sort of vibe
Okay.
where it's
Okay.
like a lot of alternative music playing. It is your kind of it's your like skater punk, I guess is the way I would put it almost. It very much has that vibe to it. And you can tell just by the aesthetic of this card kind of what they're going for there. So it is this 90s arcade games and skateboards punk kind of store, and I thought that was super cool. I like that about it a lot. And they had a great selection. They had a lot of really cool games in there. I took some pictures just for notes of stuff that I thought was interesting because they had like the limited run collector's edition of Celeste that had the little plushie in there.
Right. Right.
They had a Japanese collector box for Atelier Ryza, which had the first two games together, which I don't really need because I have all three now. But um, and they had a lot of music albums, so they had some CDs and vinyls. I didn't get a chance to look at the vinyls, but the variety of CDs they had, which they had a lot of like new sealed albums, and the variety was pretty cool because they had like there would be like a Tupac album over here, and then a few entries down from that would be like Faith Hill, country, and then a few entries down from that was a Japanese print of Master of Puppets of Metallica, and I took a
Interesting.
picture of it, and
I,
I was like, okay, so this is clearly not like the lyrics in Japanese. It's clearly just like a copy of the album that was released for Japanese retail
yeah,
because it has like the little card. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Dragon Force has done a handful of albums that were released in Japan, and they got bonus tracks that weren't here in the original run, either for the UK or the US. So it's like if you want the Japanese bonus track, you had to either get it like online or you had to get the reprint of the CD. And like I think some of the best tracks have actually been bonus tracks that were region exclusive.
That's
What
pretty cool. I didn't know that.
1 second, my interface just kind of blanked for a second, like on Streamlabs. Like everything just turned to one solid color outside of the chat box and outside of our chat windows, but like there's no heads up display. There's no like, here's your media, here's your sound levels. So if something goes wrong with my visuals, I apologize. Chat, we all let me know if that happens. Hello, David Edit, and hello, Sir Isaac. Welcome to the chat. Sorry, I just Streamlabs is kind of wonky sometimes, so it kind of spooked me for a minute.
Yeah, from my perspective, I just see your camera and hear your audio, and both of those are fine.
Okay, okay, sweet, sweet.
No changes on my end.
Right. Are you looking at me through Discord or are you looking at me through YouTube? Or both?
Through your Discord.
Okay, yeah, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that store sounds really awesome. Next time I'm out that way, and I'm not going to a con, I might actually see if I can swing by there if it's anywhere near Atlanta. Because next time I'm going to Georgia is MomoCon. We're actually going this year. Bree got into the fashion show, so she's going to be actually part of the fashion show, like modeling for it.
That is exciting.
Oh yeah, heck
I
yeah!
didn't know that.
I'm married to a fashion model. Like she's done this. This will be
Yeah,
her
literally.
second time doing this. She's been in a fashion magazine, and she's going to be in a second fashion show. And for those watching, for the uninitiated, this isn't just some convention cosplay thing. No, 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 no. These cons, while they are very anime and cosplay centric, they do have actual fashion industry guests. Like they sell their
Oh yeah.
clothes that are not cosplay. They're very stylized to a specific market, but it is an actual fashion brand. So my wife has modeled for them. I am literally married to a fashion model. So she is my channel artist and she's a fashion model. I got the jackpot, man. What else can I say?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah, she is.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you guys at the con. I would love to, on the subject of where the store is located, I would love to have a weekend where I could take you to all the cool places in my area because we could make an entire day out of going to the various different game stores and used media stores in the area.
Heck yeah.
And it's kind of hard to get them all in the same day because they're different cities. But I have a couple of routes planned out where we could hit them all up because obviously it's like trying to hit them all in the most seamless way possible. So I've put a lot of thought into that before because I've done those runs of like I just want to spend a weekend going to these stores and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But this store did have a surprisingly good Transformer selection, and it's all like sealed and new in box product. So I'm gonna send you this image really quick here.
Yeah.
I know this makes
Uh, on Freak Comic Book Day, I did hit up some of the other local stores, and there was one place that had a bunch of Transformers and a bunch of other stuff too that was still new in box. They had like a is it Universe or is it Classic? Dirge, whichever one is from that time period. But they also had a Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus still in box. But the very first thing that greeted me when I walked in, it was a big old Darth Maul statue. It's one of those where it's like those like $2,000 statues that are like that big and they sit on your desk. And it actually did something that I'm surprised canon Star Wars has not done. It was him with his double-bladed lightsaber. But half of it was his lightsaber, because remember, half of it got destroyed. And the other half was half of his brother's lightsaber from Clone Wars. And I'm like, when he came back in Clone Wars Season 7, why didn't he do that? I've been asking myself that for years. I'm like, why did he get this other lightsaber that we think belonged to Asajj Ventress, and get her lightsaber to make his staff instead of using either the whole or half of Savage Opress's lightsaber? It would make more sense, because he actually did seem to care about his brother. So I'm like, why not? Like, it seems perfect.
I wonder if it was like I wonder if that was like a fan made thing then with that statue. That's interesting.
I don't know, but it looked fantastic. It could have been fan made because the feet looked different than I've ever seen them. Like, because he's got robot legs. The feet didn't
Yeah.
look exactly like any version that I've ever seen. And the only reason I'm looking at Darth Maul's feet is because I'm gonna cosplay Clone Wars Darth Maul, so I need to know how the robot legs look. Okay.
Yeah. We're being the allegations. So this in this picture I sent you, this store
right.
they had a couple of masterpiece Transformers, and they have some G1 reissues. So there's a G1 reissue Red Alert there.
That is a nice selection. I
And
see I see. Which one's the white one? Is it Runamuck or Runabout? I see him down there. They got Overcharge. That's one that I ordered from GameStop and never actually bothered to go pick up.
yeah, they got the
Hello.
Age of Extinction or Last Night Nemesis Prime. And then I'm gonna show you I'm gonna send you now the coolest one that I saw.
Hello,
So
Master Chief Snake.
for the chat that cannot see this, this is Masterpiece Shattered Glass Jetfire.
Woo! Like just stringing all of those words together equals my wallet is dead. I can tell it's expensive just by listening
this
to
is
it.
probably like a $300 figure, probably if I had to guess.
I mean, most masterpieces are at
But he
least
is
100, 150.
yeah, but he is damn cool looking. I do like that color scheme for him a lot. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
The black and purple and neon green is just
Yep.
that's the most Decepticon color scheme you can think of.
Totally didn't Jack Skywarp's whole drip. Totally didn't.
Yeah. Well, I guess if it's Shattered Glass, then Skywarp would have some like bright looking Autobot color, right?
Well, you think about it. Shattered Glass, Starscream, jacked Jetfire's deco. So it's like, I'm sorry if that bleep came through. That's Windows telling me to update again. No.
Also, Michelle is now aware of the doomed Yowie that is Starscream and Jetfire from G1 because there's a lot of people that do fan animations of them together.
Yep. Yeah, they were best friends, and then the war. But everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, because Jetfire wakes up after being frozen in ice and doesn't realize that they're at war and that Starscream is on the side of the bad guys.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh wait, I'm so glad to be back. I can't wait for us to get back to the way things were. And
yeah, about that. Did you get a chance to go to Free Comic Book Day or not this year?
No, I was actually much too busy crunching for.
Oh, right, for MomoCon, yeah.
For MomoCon, we drove by Steel Collectibles when we were going to go get food, and they had a line. They had people lined up down the sidewalk like 2 hours before they opened.
Jeez.
In preparation for Free Comic Book Day, they went hard.
Yeah, like the comic store that I normally go to. Bear in mind, I gotta drive an hour to the nearest one because there isn't one local to me. So the closest one is over an hour away. They open at 10 on Free Comic Book Day. They were already letting people inside when I pulled up at 9:45. There's already people in there. On the plus,
I believe it.
On the plus side, everything I wanted was there. New issue of Mega Man. It's Base versus Proto Man on this one. It's just a little one-off because we don't know if regular Mega Man Timelines is getting its own series yet. They haven't announced it or not, but it's from the same publisher. What we really wanted it for is the Battle Network content there on the bottom. Don't worry, chat. This video is coming soon. I just need time to actually get the images digitized. So I got a second copy so I can take it apart and all that. Yeah, that store was three comics free, and then if you buy something, doesn't matter what it is, buy anything, you get 5 more for free. I was like, yeah, go ahead and give me Speed Racer while I'm at it, because I love Speed Racer.
Oh, that's cool.
Rest of the haul from that day, just from that store and one other. Random Sonic comic, haven't read that one yet. Sonic Cross DC, haven't read that one yet either.
That's really cool.
Right? Sonic be crossing over with everyone these days. And I'm okay with that. Energon Universe Mask. It's not Transformers, but it is in the Transformers Skybound continuity. That's
interesting. So they're doing... it's because I know there is a G.I. Joe comic in that continuity because in the first volume of the Transformers 1... I mentioned this when we talked about it, but like there is a panel that focuses suspiciously too much on a particular human like fighter pilot, and
Hmm.
then you find out later when you do the page turn that it's like continue this story and this other comic, and I'm like, okay, I should have seen that coming. But for
Yeah.
them to also
Uh,
do Mask is pretty cool because that's another one of those '80s cartoons. It actually had Peter Cullen in it as well.
yeah. This one does that on a couple of the panels as well. I'm not going to show any spoilers though. Other comics I got, picked this one up for Bree. It was just a Stitch comic. And then there's
Hmm.
another Stitch comic that's based on the anime version, so it's read like a manga. It is read from right to left instead of left to right. There we go. Very anime art style.
Huh.
Yeah, Stitch had an anime of all things.
Yeah, I
Ren,
believe it.
Free Comic Book Day Avatar Last Airbender comic. Rest in peace to that movie because it got leaked. I have not watched it yet, nor will I until it is officially released. While I think Paramount deserves to take a hit, the creators deserve to not because they actually put their heart and soul into Avatar. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna respect the creators. And I'm gonna watch it after it's released.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then got this one for my sister-in-law. She really loves Garfield, so just a little random Garfield comic they had laying around.
Hmm.
And another one, just because it was kind of there, Gem and the Holograms. It's kind of a deep cut
Huh.
on that one.
Yeah, how about that? I didn't realize I wonder if they're doing that as a full series or if that's like a one-off thing.
I'm not certain. The Speed Racer one, I think it did start off as a Free Comic Book Day one, or it might be a different line, because last Free Comic Book Day, I got an issue of Speed Racer as well. So I guess we'll find out. But my favorite find at the same comic store, because they do also have action figures, was this guy. Laser
Yeah.
Optimus Prime. He was complete. The trailer's, like, off to the side. Not going to grab it at the moment. Just want to show him off. Been looking for this guy for a while. So,
You
heck
said
yeah.
he's complete. Does he have the shield and the sword?
Yeah. Is it a shield? I always thought it was an axe because it's like it's got a handle and it looks most proper when it's fully extended. It looks like some weird axe-looking thing. What?
I guess it can.
It's a
I
pizza
guess it
shovel.
can do as both.
It's a pizza
Yeah,
shovel, is
yeah.
what
There
it
you
is.
go.
Energy on pizza. Yo,
What do they call those?
for that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover.
I did buy something at Killer Finds, by the way, as well.
Sir Isaac says he wishes
week.
that this comic store was in his area. Only bookstore right here doesn't carry regular comics, but carries omnibuses. I mean, same like again, my local one is an hour away. Closest thing I got to Books a Million, and they did carry comics at one point, but yeah, now it's all omnibuses and compilations, and that's how I got into Green Lantern, so I can't complain too hard. But you did buy something at Killer Finds. You said it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well that I'm pretty spoiled around here in terms of comic book stores as well. If you wanted to pick up comics for Free Comic Book Day, there's probably about a dozen choices.
Heck yeah.
So our local area is just awesome like that. But yeah, I did buy something. I wasn't none of the Transformers they had were ones on my wish list necessarily, but they did have some model kits. They also had some random anime figures and stuff like that. They had some Fate statues. They had a Reshkagal. They had a I don't remember the other one, and they had a really old Elia that might have been like an Elia garage kit from like early Fate Stay Night era, which is interesting. But I bought a Zoid,
Heck yeah.
so I bought this guy. Um, and he's just a little hermit crab. He's the hermit crab Zoid.
I don't
So
remember
this
that
is
one.
the
I don't remember that one from the show.
this is the this never appeared in the anime,
Fair enough.
but this is the AZ line, so it's motorized.
Huh.
It's one of the newer lines, and this is a recreation of a Zoid that we otherwise have not seen since like 1983. So it's pretty cool that they did that, and this guy will be pretty easy to build. It's one of the smaller ones, so it won't be that egregious of an addition to the backlog. But he's just a little guy.
Yeah.
He's perfect. I love him. So,
Uh,
um,
he's just a little guy. He's just a little planet guy.
that's an entire planet, sir.
Yeah.
With it actually, that is a globe. It is a desk globe because it has the ring and everything.
Yep.
So yeah,
So a video on this coming soon as well. It's so goofy. Not gonna delve into that much, but he is gonna live right here. Uh, just
So-
right there. Uh, Not just omnibuses, but trade paperbacks. Not all collected comics are considered omnibuses. My apologies. I wasn't aware of the terminology. I thought omnibus just meant like any given compilation in a bounded issue. My apologies.
Yeah, because sometimes there's the paperback print ones that are like multiple issues in one,
Yes.
which is how I'm doing how it's actually how I'm doing the Skybound Transformers, as I'm waiting for those to come out instead of buying the single issue
Yeah.
ones.
And Mega Man Timelines will be getting a hard copy of all the one-offs coming soon in like a single bound volume. And the way I read Green Lantern Blackest Night was like it was a book. I'm pretty sure it was paperback, and it was just everything from the specific Green Lantern line of comics for the Blackest Night crossover, and then I look right next to it, and it's Green Lantern Core Blackest Night. And I was like, okay, so what's the difference? Oh, they're running multiple comics at the same time, even though the characters are like in each other's comics, and that's how I discovered how confusing the world of comics is. Like not even just this
Especially,
timeline,
like,
this
late
universe.
stage.
Yeah, because that was like
especially like late stage Marvel and DC especially are like it's really baked into them.
that was a couple of years before the New 52 reboot, because I read like 3 or 4 storylines for the Green Lantern, and then it went into New 52. It was like Blackest Night, Brightest Day, Wrath of the First Lantern, and then there was one more I can't remember exactly. And I think at the end of that one, the next Green Lantern thing that came out was the New 52, whatever it was. And I'm just like, okay, so we're doing this now. And these have been out for a couple of years at this point, so I missed when the reboot happened. So just, yeah, that is what it is.
So, you told me
Yes.
that you wanted to talk about a theatrically released video game adaptation movie that has a controversial reception online right now.
Yes. 2 words to everyone on Twitter. Grow up. Grow up. Seriously. Everyone on both sides is taking this movie entirely too seriously. So, the biggest one that I keep hearing people say is, it is, like, people have been saying, like, some critics have said, this is worse than anything AI slop generated. I'm like, no. Okay, saying that immediately discredits you from anything ever, because anything made by humans is automatically better than anything made by AI. No exceptions.
That is true.
Zero exceptions. I'll never take anything you say seriously again. And then you got people who are like, kids deserve better. Yes, kids deserve better, but kids can have junk food occasionally. Are you telling me you never let your kid have a bowl of ice cream? Or you never let your kid get a candy bar? Kids deserve to have just a good, fun movie occasionally. At least it's not Cocomelon where it is all straight brain rot. The Mario movie was actually fun. And not...
Wait, hang on. You saw Mario Galaxy?
Yes. Yes, it was fun. It was a good, fun movie.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Return to Silent Hill.
Oh.
I watched Return to Silent Hill and everything in preparation for this, and you saw Mario instead?
Ladies and gentlemen, I just got.
I mean, I was thinking there for a second. I was like, I don't think kids should be watching Return to Silent Hill.
Yeah, sure they can. Like, have you seen any kids movies from the 80s? They're all rated PG. You have Dogs Going to Hell.
Oh yeah, true. That's
all
true.
Dogs Go to Heaven. Not this one. The Black Cauldron.
Mario Galaxy movie. Yeah, so I have seen the online backlash. It's been pretty crazy. I guess with that as the caveat, it seems like all of the criticisms of Return to Silent Hill is that it's just like a very bad adaptation of Silent Hill 2 that like very much disrespects the source material like egregiously. But in the case of the Mario Galaxy movie, it seems like the complaints from the mainstream are kind of just like that it is more concerned with references than the plot is what I'm seeing.
I honestly feel like the biggest reason it draws criticism is because it didn't call itself Mario Bros. The Movie 2. It specifically called itself the Mario Galaxy Movie because Mario Galaxy fans are really attached to Rosalina and to the storytelling from the storybook. Like, that's how you get the bulk of the meat of the backstory and the lore from the games. And I'm just over here, like, from on both sides. Like, I will say, yes, they could have done it better if they wanted to make a Mario Galaxy movie. Yeah, they probably should have just called it Mario Bros. The Movie 2 or something else, especially since one big complaint is that Rosalia spent the whole movie captured. I mean, spoiler alert, Princess and a Mario thing gets captured. You know, who knew?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are complaining that the story was not in-depth enough. A lot of people are complaining that kids deserve better writing. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, you are looking at a Mario movie released by the studio who brought us Minions. Why are you expecting Citizen Kane? You don't go to a vegan restaurant and expect to be served prime rib. You just don't do it. Your expectations are in the wrong place. And the movie doesn't make any promises it doesn't intend to fulfill. Like, it promises Mario in a galaxy, and you do get Rosalina and the Lumas. You get exactly what is promised. And it's not a straight adaptation. The original movie wasn't a straight adaptation. So it's like, where were your expectations, and why were they where they were? It's just like, I can't help you if your expectations are weird and dumb like that. And again,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say the movie
to-
was perfect. I'm not gonna say it's like the best thing ever. But like, it was good, dumb fun, which is what I expect from Illumination Studios. And when you put Mario with it together, that's exactly what you expect. You got Jack Black in the movie. Of course, it's not going to be super. Jack Black in a video game movie. Let me clarify. Jack Black in a video game movie, it's not going to be super in depth. It's not going to be high art. Like, it's just for fun, and there's nothing wrong with having it be just for fun.
chicken.jockey.gif.
Crap. Hold on. My screen's acting up again. Okay, there we go.
But yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to watch it for myself to kind of see how I feel, because I definitely would not have gone in with any lofty expectations. But the it is weird that both of these movies are like, just it seemed like they're just not as well liked as the like Sonic movies, for example, because the so far Michelle and I have only seen the first Sonic movie. We haven't seen 2 or 3 yet. We need to get around to that soon, actually. But
Honestly, out of the trilogy, the first one is the worst.
okay,
I will admit, in the second one, there is a major drought where a big, long segment goes by of stuff we don't care about. But when we do get back to what we care about, it mostly makes up for it.
yeah, but I guess my point there is like the it seemed like for however reason those movies did a better job of satisfying the mainstream as well as fans, whereas these Mario movies, it did really well like commercially and seemed to be really popular with kids. Like I cannot begin to tell you how many times I have been in a public setting and seen a kid on an iPad watching exactly the Mario movie. Like it's happened multiple times in public setting. And so I don't know, like I don't know what is missing from the formula where the people seem to like the Sonic movies more, but I would just have to watch the Mario movies to see why.
As someone who's not that deep into Sonic, I can't tell you. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a Sonic fan. I don't dislike it. I just haven't experienced enough of it to consider myself part of the fan base. But as far as the critics are concerned, no, I care nothing for what they say. I care nothing for what Rotten Tomatoes says in general. Like, either side. I'm like, watch the movie yourself. Or if you don't think you're going to like it, don't. Just make your own judgments. Don't listen to what anyone says. Unless it's a trusted friend, you know?
It's interesting because so aggregate scores are a really interesting topic in and of themselves, because when it comes to aggregate reviews, they can sometimes be a better indicator of what the general consensus is on something than a like review from a website that has a very fixed, like finite opinion from a writer and a like a capital C critic, so to speak.
Right.
And so if you're having like thousands of casual watchers all rate something and it averages out their opinions, that is sometimes worth more to the layperson than any critic's opinion. But inversely, the problem with aggregate scores is how easily manipulated they are.
Indeed. Indeed.
Because we've seen this time and time again recently with it happens, I think, mostly in the realm of video games with Metacritic and Steam reviews, but the concept of review bombing or studios, I've seen this happen with movies and TV shows as well, where they will artificially inflate their aggregate review scores by having reviews published internally before the thing even comes out. And it's like you can tell these reviews are either bought or illegitimate from the start, because how could a random person consume the thing before it comes out? It doesn't make any sense. So
Exactly.
yeah, it does make sense to be skeptical. And if you see a aggregate score like Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, etc., get like wildly skewed. But I also think like if there's a huge discrepancy between the like on Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic, the if there's a huge discrepancy between average critic score and average user score, that is sometimes a good indicator that you might actually like it just fine, because all the
Yeah.
critics are all saying it's bad, but like overwhelmingly the people actually consuming it are saying it's good. Um,
Yeah, I will say,
so, but
in that case, I do typically take the audience side over the critic side, because again, you got things like Mario movie that has like really low critic score. You got like Godzilla King of the Monsters with a really low critic score, but the audience score is way higher. And I'm like, and then you got the inverse where something that the audience typically thinks is bad gets a really low score, but the critics are scoring it high. So it's like kind of the inverse on that. And I was like, yeah, I trust them more. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to watch something, it's going to be because I decide to, not because of what someone tells me that I should or shouldn't. Like someone from a published source. Like if a friend says, "Hey, you should watch this. You will like it," then heck yeah, I'll go watch it. That's how I watched Fate Zero for the first time. No regrets. Absolutely love it. And it's kind of one of the things we want to do with this podcast, where we have some media recommendations for each other. That'll come a little bit later, though. But like, I do ultimately think that it is kind of pointless for like to listen to Rotten Tomatoes or any of those things at all, unless they actually give objective problems with something. Like that's easier to point out in video games. Like if they say, "Oh, there's a really big lag spike right here," or it doesn't tell you where to go, that's one thing. But I will say one thing specifically. I've said this before, like maybe not on this podcast, but at some point I've said it. If I see a buzzword, no matter what side it's on, if I see a buzzword in someone's review, immediate throw it out in the trash, because I'm like, one, you're just using words to make yourself sound fancy, but two, that also gives me an idea that you're not focused on what you're watching right now. Like, especially if it's well, let's take, I guess we could use Star Wars: The Acolyte for an example. Like, if someone on either side uses buzzwords, it's like, oh, the people downvoting it are grifters. I'm like, but that's a buzzword, out. Oh, the show's too woke. That's a buzzword, out. And I'm like, no. Talk about the actual meat of the show itself. Talk about the merits, and talk about what they do right or they do wrong without using buzzwords. Because if you use buzzwords, that means that you're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks, and I am less likely to take you seriously.
yeah, I guess the problem with that is it depends on the medium that the review is published, because the unfortunate thing is that um, if it's published in written format, there's a lot of like enshittification with websites that publish reviews and stuff like that when it comes to um, advertising and trying to have like clickbait titles that grab you. Because sometimes people will just read, as I'm sure you're no doubt familiar with, some people will just look at the headline of the article and not read the article, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes having a short, concise title that maybe uses a couple of buzzwords is like the only way to get somebody to click in to see what the substance is.
And
But even
that
then,
that
it
actually
feels
makes
a little
me
futile.
that makes me even more upset because I can't tell you how many times it'll pop up in my Google recommended page. It'll be from like maybe not IGN, but like any given like gaming outlet website where it's like for a limited time this Zelda or Mario download is free on the Switch eShop. I was like, oh, what is this? Click. Oh, it's just icons for your Switch. Yeah, it's a download,
Yeah.
all right. I'm like, out of here with that.
It's the rage bait economy, my friend, is
Yes,
what it
and I
is.
and
Like,
I hate it. So that's why
it is the rate.
that's part of what it is. It's like if you're going to use those kind of buzzwords, like I immediately shut it down, and I'm like, no, f that noise. I'm not listening
Yeah.
to anything you say. Don't care.
It is the rage bait industrial complex.
Use a better vocabulary to describe what we're talking about. Anyway, so
Yeah.
all I've done so far with this little segment about the Mario Galaxy movie is just said people should have their expectations different. How about I actually talk about the movie for once? So,
Sure.
not really too much to elaborate on outside of what you saw in the trailer in terms of plot. Yeah, it's Baby Bowser comes back, sets Bowser free. Well, okay, he gets set free through something else, but you get the idea. Captures Rosalina, wants to blow up the galaxy. You know, typical Saturday morning cartoon vibe stuff. Bowser Jr. made the movie for me, honestly. His energy, his line delivery, his voice acting was actually really, really good. Like, I could tell this is not like baby Bowser Jr. This is like, seems like to be like a little bit older Bowser Jr. because he doesn't sound like a baby. Like, his voice isn't all high and squeaky and all that. But again, not really too much to elaborate on. The big spoiler of the movie, Fox McCloud's in the movie, but that they spoiled that on purpose before the movie even came out, so it's not even really a big spoiler in the first place. It's just kind of like, yeah, we're expecting a Super Smash Bros. Movie any day now, and I'm like, yeah, probably. That's a tangent. I'm gonna reel it back for a sec. I'll go off on that tangent here in a sec. One thing that did upset a lot of people is the way they confirmed the relation between Rosalina and Peach. A lot of us had speculated for years that they were related somehow just because of how genetics works and their character designs are so similar. And based on the illustrations in the storybook, it looks like you could see Peach in the drawing as the mother or someone that looks like Peach. But the way they decided to portray it in the movie, if you want to throw up a spoiler alert thing on your end, then you can do that because this actually is something of a spoiler.
Yep.
So be warned, chat. This is the actual big spoiler for the Mario Galaxy movie. If you don't want it, then dip out and come back in like 2 minutes. The big spoiler for the Mario Galaxy movie is that Peach and Rosalina are actually sisters in this timeline. And Rosalina is the older sister, and Peach is the younger sister. And the reason she ended up with the Toads is because they were getting attacked by somebody that we don't see who it is, but Rosalina was forced to drop Peach through a warp pipe, and she ends up in the custody of the Toads. So she is not from Earth, she's not human, or she's not regular human like Mario is. She is like this star person, whatever she is. And a lot of people were upset by that, and I'm like, did you expect them to not be related? Because, like, I always thought it was a thing of Peach was actually Rosalina's mother, but due to space-time travel, black hole shenanigans, they were displaced in time. Because Rosalina did say in one of the games that because when stars die, they become black holes, and black holes can collapse all matter in the universe. And when a new universe is born, even if things look the same, they're not quite the same. Something like that. So I always just imagine, oh, it's probably just space-time travel shenaniganry. Rosalina's Peach's daughter. That's just the way I always interpreted it before watching the movie. And I don't think that would be a big deal, but apparently Miyamoto has said that he wants that to be their canonical relationship going forward in new Mario media. So that's apparently got people in an uproar, and I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that. It is a fine way to canonize the plot, at least for the movie.
Right.
I have no problem with it. I mean, my headcanon, I guess, would have been that they're just like alternate dimension versions of each other.
Yeah, I get that.
Or that they are sort of like that Rosalina is sort of this alternate dimension placeholder entity where like they serve the same purpose in but in a different dimension kind of thing. I never like thought about their family lineage or anything like that, but that's interesting that they canonized it like that.
Yeah. Um, we did see that Princess Daisy is teased for the next movie. You know, that's not too big of a spoiler. We got Yoshi teased at the end of the first one. Uh, one thing that a lot of us are speculating is that the big alien thing that was attacking Rosalina and Peach during the flashback was actually the alien who tries to take over Sarasa Land from Mario Land. That's Daisy's kingdom. I can't remember how to pronounce his name at the moment, but he's like the little alien guy in the little UFO. He's the final boss. A lot of us speculate that that's who was attacking Rosalina and Peach, and now Daisy's getting involved because he's attacking her kingdom, and that's where the third movie's going to be set. Or it's going to take
That'd be cool.
elements from that, at least. I was over here like...
Yeah, I would like to.
I was over here like, Mario 64 movie when? Because Baby Bowser Jr., his ability is Magic Ink, where he can, like... It's like Epic Mickey, where he can just draw up something, and, like, he creates this giant dragon out of ink, and it, like, starts attacking things. And I'm like, okay, what you do? You take that, you have a canvas, you splat the magic ink on it, it creates a portal, and you make the next movie Mario 64 the movie. Fill Peach's Castle with those, and you do, like, you get a montage of them speed running, like, all the levels where you gotta see them fight the bosses to gain the Power Stars to get to the top floor and go fight Bowser. So just give us a Mario 64 movie using that as the catalyst for how they get the levels to open up.
I would be cool with a Mario Land style movie, especially if we get Daisy and also Wario at some point.
Yeah. Waluigi when?
Am I good to take spoiler tag off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Michelle's really looking forward to watching this movie because she is a massive fan of Yoshi, Rosalina, and Bowser Jr. Like Bowser Jr. is her little Lorbo. She's like, that is my little child.
He is one of my tertiary mains in Smash, but I always play as Roy just because I like his voice way better, and the shades always sell it. I just half the times I get KO'd in Smash while playing instead just because I'm laughing too hard because of the freaking side special clown car dash, and he just lets out that laugh. He just runs you over, and I'm like, he's just having a good time. I can't help but laugh every time I see that.
Ready to move on?
Yes, I am ready.
So I have not really had much time to finish any many games this year that we haven't already talked about. I have several in the tank, but I need to get through the pre-Momocon crunch before I can like really just sit down and play anything leisurely for the sake of finishing it. Michelle and I are pretty close to finishing. Well, I shouldn't say pretty close, but we are on our way to finish Mass Effect 3, so that is a thing. But I was recording footage for the Dragon Quest Heroes video, and I randomly decided to go boot up a couple of the games that I wanted to get platinum trophies in, and I was looking at the this is gonna sound odd. This is gonna sound like an odd choice for me, but I booted up the SpongeBob game, the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom HD, and I was like, I wonder how hard it would be to get the platinum trophy in this. Turns out very hard, and so I currently have like shelved that one as far as like getting the platinum goes, and I'm like, maybe later, but I kind of doubt it because the only things left for me to get in that one is like there's a dream level and a bunch of stuff you have to get in there, and basically 100%ing all the collectibles. But the dream level is like really, really, really hard, and I was like, I'm not feeling this right now. So I put that away and I booted up a game I finished last year, Terminator Resistance. And I don't know, have we talked about this game before?
We have not, actually.
So are you at all a fan of the Terminator franchise?
This is one of those to where I actually am a little bit ashamed that I have very little knowledge on it, considering that I love sci-fi and I love like robots and all that, but I have never actually seen any of the Terminator or RoboCop movies all the way down, even though those are right up my alley. I've just never taken the time to.
Okay, well, I'm gonna casually add that to the list of media recommendations. And I plan on taking Michelle through Terminator 1 and 2 at some point as well because I think that she would enjoy them, and they're also just like a really huge part of film pop culture. Like so many of like Arnold Schwarzenegger's one-liners come from Terminator, like "I'll be back" and "Hasta la vista, baby." Those all come from Terminator.
Uh,
Um,
Get to the Choppa is from Predator, though, isn't it?
that is correct.
Yeah.
So, quick little aside then, I guess, about Terminator 1 and 2. So,
I know the basic
Terminator,
overview of the plot. I know it's like the whole machines take over in the future. AI becomes too risky, too advanced. It creates a bunch of robots, enslaves humanity, and then Judgment Day is when the war machines causes nukes to go off all over the world, blows everything up. Yeah, it's the future we're heading towards because billion-dollar companies are still investing in AI despite every single piece of fiction ever telling us it's a bad idea.
yeah,
We're basically
like
getting Skynet.
it,
We got Skynet before we got
we
Half
had
Life 3.
we had this conversation before of like uh the companies making the AIs are like, man, why can't I stop making the machine that makes us kill everyone as they make the machine that makes us kill everyone?
Yeah.
But so the first movie is this really effective like slasher movie almost where it's mostly like once they send the Terminator back in time to the 80s, it is mostly just Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor running from this thing because they don't have anything, they do not have the equipment to fight it, and it's constantly chasing them. And that's where you get the line where Kyle Reese is like, it doesn't feel pain, it doesn't feel fear, it doesn't get tired, it doesn't get hungry, and it absolutely will not stop. And so it's like a really intense like slasher movie almost, but with this sci-fi twist. And then the I actually may hold off on describing Terminator 2 and so that Michelle can get the full effect of that one. Um, but the future war stuff. So at the beginning of both movies, you see what the future looks like with the post-apocalyptic future war going on, and the way they depict it is really cool because it is just like it's always nighttime. It's always extremely dark. You have like humans running around with like headsets on and military sci-fi military gear and just like improvised weapons and like they have some like, laser weapons and stuff like that, but it's all very improvised and like they're always on their back foot and it's this losing battle against the machines as they just kind of prowl through the night hunting their last remaining humans. And it's very atmospheric because you have this like really moody lighting that you only get in like movies from that era where it's like it's no CG. It's all done on like a sound stage with like smoke machines and real lights and everything. And so you have this really moody, really atmospheric lighting and this like electronic like 80s electronic score with like the suspenseful music with like this low rumbly electronic sound that goes through this wah, like through the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And it has such a cool aesthetic to it. And they've been trying to capture that in video games for a long time. So in the 90s, there were two Terminator first person shooter games that tried to capture like the future war stuff. And it was one called Future Shock and one called Skynet. Simple enough. And these were like DOS era 2D, like pre Quake and pre Build Engine first person shooters, and one of them was I think the lead designer on one of them was a certain Todd Howard of Bethesda, and it was
Oh.
his first game that he made for Bethesda, if I remember serves correctly, and but they were like they were okay for what they were. Like they were extremely innovative for what they were, but they were still 2D. And so then fast forward to 2019 or whatever it is, and we get this company Teon that has been adapting old media franchises into games. They made that Rambo rail shooter that Angry Joe had the huge crash out over, the really bad one.
The only Angry Joe
And
I've ever watched is when he did crossovers with the Nostalgia Critic, but I do know he does reviews as well. So
yeah, yeah.
that,
So
that, that that's one I haven't seen.
yeah, so they made he played this Rambo rail shooter light gun game that was really bad and had a huge crash out over it. And then they came back and made I don't know if they made anything in between. They probably did, but they made this. And in spite of being like a pretty low budget game, with that doesn't appear to have like it's production quality. It is like a double A budget game. It's not like a triple A budget game, but it nails the atmosphere from the Terminator movie, from the Future War stuff.
Excellent.
It's that exact atmosphere. It is the exact thing you're looking for, the sound effects, the look of the Terminators as well. So it's like if you want a game that is just that, then then this is right up your alley. And so it is the kind of thing of like I only really recommend it to fans of the movies, but it's a well-made game for what it is. It's a really solid movie adaptation, and they do this thing where it has this like very light survival aspect to it, where you're like picking up crafting materials and ingredients to make upgrade your weapons or make health packs or make explosives with. But the first several levels of the game are you just kind of prowling the night, like ducking between rubble and hiding. And you can fight little like drones and little robot spiders and stuff. But if an actual Terminator shows up, you are to run. You cannot fight these things right now. They are way too tough. And you can try, but your weapons deal negligible damage to them until you get plasma-based weapons.
Just like the
And
Jaws game for the NES.
yeah, and so, but a little bit less frustrating than the Jaws game on the NES. Uh, so you, and even when you get your first plasma weapon, it's low power to where you could fight maybe one or two Terminators at a time. Um, but there's still like a really serious threat. Like they are no joke. And I love how they build to that because the idea of like okay I'm just I this is survival, this is like stealth, this is like a survival horror game almost at this point. I have to not get seen or I'm gonna die. And to that go to okay I can kind of fight on my own or I can really fight on my own if I have like a squad of guys backing me up kind of thing. We get some NPCs fighting there with me. And there's RPG elements to it as well, where you get to talk to other NPCs and like build relationships with them,
Right.
and do side quests for them. And their backstories are like okay, but they're not particularly well fleshed out or anything. Um, and you go through this whole story, and by the final level, you have a like fully automatic plasma minigun, and you have taken control of I'm trying to remember what the hell it is. It's an HK. It's a hunter killer tank. So trying to think of a good comparison as to what this thing looks like. Um,
Halo 5 Scorpion.
no, think Armada Demolisher.
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah,
his how his turret looks.
yeah.
Imagine that turret on like a really high perched up uh neck, and it's like big treads at the bottom and a big turret up here.
So
That has
I'm
the
picturing
twin.
the Scorpion from the Bungie era Halo games with Demolisher's vehicle mode upper half just slapped on top of that's what I'm picturing in my
Yeah,
head.
but even bigger than that, like huge. This thing is massive. And so you've hijacked this thing and it's on your side. And so you're just doing this like all out war against the machines. And like the main Terminator theme starts playing, the do 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 do, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
You just hear that one guy.
And,
You just hear that one guy from Halo 3 shout, "Tank beats everything."
yeah, and so it is a very fun like $20 game is what I will say. Like it's a great $20 game. It's like probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10 objectively, but it's like a 9 out of 10 as a adaptation of this franchise.
Nice, nice.
And I just went and got the platinum trophy for it this last week. I was like, there's only like two things I'm missing, and one of them was just like go talk to this NPC and do a side quest for him, and the other one was go fight like an optional enemy in the open world area. So I just did both those things and got the platinum super easily. So it was worth it.
Excellent, excellent. Glad to hear. I remember the last time I 100%. No, I do remember. The last time that we 100% a game was when Rio and I were playing MS Saga on stream, and we beat that like 2 or 3 years ago at this point. The game took us like 5 years to complete. A lot of stuff happened between us starting it and us finishing it. We started it pre-COVID, and we finished it like 100%ed it like 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. You want to take a moment to catch up with chat now?
Yes. Okay, let me run it back. Okay. Master Chief's Snake says Speed Racer, the Speed Racer anime is a good show. Absolutely agree. And that's another one that's been making a comeback recently. Is the live action Speed Racer movie just got re-released in IMAX for its like 20th anniversary or so, and a lot of people are discovering it for the first time. And as a lifelong Speed Racer fan, I will be the first to say, it's not a very good movie, but it's a fantastic adaptation. It feels like Speed Racer. It actually feels like the Wachowskis watched and enjoyed the Speed Racer cartoon when they were making it. Like, especially when you compare it to stuff like Dragon Ball Evolution, I'm like, bleh. It was someone who's not a Dragon Ball fan. Watching that movie was unbearable, just as a movie. But then you get Speed Racer, and I'm like, this is fantastic for what it is and what it's supposed to be. No, it's not high art, it's not high cinema. It's definitely got its problems, but it actually feels like they watched Speed Racer. It feels like they knew what they were doing, knew what the source material was.
Yeah, I saw an interview recently that was the Wachowskis talking about that re-release.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell that because I haven't watched the movie yet. I'm curious about it now because there seems to be a bit of a renaissance of interest in it. But you can tell that they had a deep love for the source material.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they really loved Speed Racer when they made that. So.
And it really does show. And that's going to be evident whenever you actually do make an adaptation of something. If you have love for it, it will show. Gavin says, my biggest issue with the movie is it feels like Galaxy 2. They saw everything that worked with the first and did more, but removed the character development. It was good fun, but felt like they're doing less than the first movie. Yeah, understandable. I can kind of get behind that. There was way less character development in the second one outside of Peach finding out about her roots. That's about it. Like, no real development on Mario or Luigi or Toad's part either, and Yoshi's just there to be the cute sidekick. So, yeah, I can't really say that criticism's wrong. Sonic movies are great. Knuckles series is fun. Master Chief Snake says, worst live-action video game adaptation is the Mario Bros. Movie from 1993. Uwe Boll has entered the chat. Now, Master Chief...
What? True, I will...
Master Chief, just... don't watch them, but, like, watch someone review Alone in the Dark or Blood Rain or House of the Dead, any of those by Uwe Boll. Then
Far Cry, yeah.
I didn't even know he did a Far Cry movie, but then come back to me.
He sure did.
Then come back and we'll talk. Gavin says the Mario movie is fun. Nothing compared to Mortal Kombat films, and those are terrible. Oh, the original ones, I assume. I've heard that the newer ones have actually been pretty highly acclaimed. I wouldn't know. Never watched either of them. Pick up for a 4K remaster of the Mario Bros. Movie from the 90s. Always have fun with it. I will admit, like, it's not a good adaptation, but it is kind of good, dumb fun if you separate it from the Mario stuff, because it does give you that kind of, like, dystopian, futuristic, like, Judge Dredd, like, underground kind of vibe to it. Like, if you ever watch Judge Dredd, the people living underground, that's pretty much what the Mario Bros. Movie feels like. That's the setting we're in. Yoshi is awesome in it because they actually depict him as like a realistic, like miniature raptor kind of looking thing. So Yoshi actually gets fierce for a little bit. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, without him being overly grotesque, I will say. Oh, the alien from Mario World or Mario Land is called Tatanga. Sorry, I can never remember how to pronounce that. And there's an awful Terminator 3 game made by the same team who made the god-awful Fugitive Hunter. Never heard of that one. So that's outside my wheelhouse a little bit.
I remember, I remember the G4 X Play review of the Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines game, because I remember the guy who is the review is done through this like rhetorical framing of like an Arnold impersonation, which was like, you know, maybe not as cliche to do in 2003 as it is now, but I just remember the guy like absolutely losing his shit and going on this full crash out and be like, yeah, he's like punching the cop cars and like going crazy like that, and it is a very bad game, but yeah.
Okay, so G4 can actually be funny. They can do humor actually.
When they were not being weirdly racist or sensational, they had a few good jokes. That is for sure.
I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
I guess so. Yeah, I got nothing on chat on my side. A couple people have come in and out, but Michelle's in chat right now saying that the Yoshi is just a little guy.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Tonight, the part of Yoshi will be played by Childish Gambino.
I don't know who that is.
It's Donald Glover, who played him in the movie.
I don't recognize the name. I don't know celebrities. Sorry.
Okay. adding to the recommended list, Childish Gambino.
I know who Gambit is. You know, the guy from X-Men.
Indeed, yeah. Okay. You have quite an iconic piece of media to talk about, right? Oh, Michelle's bringing us a special guest as well. We adopted him.
Bowser. 1 second. Sorry, I got a
T-fees.
There it is. Yep, Bree and I got one of those while we were... That's very large. Scroll that down. Scale that down. Bree and I got one of those while we were on our honeymoon. Like right after we got married, we went to Six Flags, and I got one of those out of the claw machine.
Oh, Bowser Jr.?
Yeah. Really cute. Hello there.
He's perfect.
It wasn't that exact one, but it was a Bowser Jr. Plushie. A little smaller, I think. All right, so the next one on my list, Twin Peaks. This one was recommended to me by a friend and a coworker, and it was not payback, I wouldn't say, but it's one of those things of when you're friends with me, you have to listen to my special interests. I'm over here yammering on about Transformers and Mega Man all the time, and this friend looks at me and is like, all right, now you are going to go watch something that I enjoy so that we can have conversations about it. I was like, all right, bet. Hit me with it. It's called Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
It's called Twin Peaks. I was like,
yeah.
Isn't that like a discount Hooters? So like, no, not the restaurant, the show. Twin Peaks. I was like, okay, bet. Woof.
Yeah, they got you good there. You walked into that one like you were like, I'm gonna talk about the hyperfixations just a little bit too long, and they're like, all right, here's Twin Peaks. When you told me you were watching this, I actually couldn't believe that it was this. And I guess for context, I have not seen it, but I'm aware of its cultural relevance because references of it permeate everything. Like it's referenced in like The Simpsons and in a bunch of video games. Apparently
it's referenced in Soul Eater. It's referenced in Phoenix Wright. It's referenced in a ton of different things that I didn't know. And I've seen all the references, but didn't know it was a reference. And then now I'm watching it and I'm like, wait, that's where it's from? Huh?
Yeah.
Get to that in a second. But I can't give away too much about the like nitty-gritty of this because it really is meant to be, pardon my French, this show is a mindfuck. Like, it is meant to mess with you psychologically with everything that is going on here. and you really need to watch it to get the full effect of it. There's some things that I can talk about, like the basic premise, and I guess that's where we start. So it is a murder mystery series that takes place in a town called Twin Peaks, and the centerpiece is the I believe it's called the Grandview Hotel. It's actually been a couple months since I last watched it. See, it was still fresh in my mind when I said we should talk about it on the podcast, but it's been technical difficulties kept hitting us, so we kept getting bumped back. Takes place. That's where the centerpiece is, where the majority of the downtime happens, is in that hotel and in the surrounding area. There's a they find a dead body of a young girl. She was murdered, and her body was found wrapped in plastic. And an FBI agent is called in to help with the investigation. His name is Dale Cooper. He's our main character, and he's quite the eccentric fellow. I will say I accidentally messed up slightly in my watch order because I skipped the pilot episode, and this is one of those shows that treats the pilot as the actual first episode. And I don't know exactly how it happened, but the very first thing that I get is the camera starts up in Cooper's bedroom, and he's hanging from the ceiling using some, like, metal shin cuffs, because he's into, like, yoga and, like exercise that balances the mind, the spirit, and the body all in one. He's a bit of a philosopher. He is well-read in that kind of thing. He believes that it helps him with his investigation skills, because he wants his mind, his body, and his soul to all be in perfect alignment so that he can be perfectly focused, and he's good at what he does. But that's my first introduction to this guy, and he's talking into his tape recorder to a woman named Diane. And Diane is often seen by the fans as the audience proxy, even though Diane does exist as a character in universe. But we don't see her until season 3, which I still haven't got there yet. I've only seen seasons 1 and 2, which is the original run. And then I still have to watch the movie Fire Walk with Me, which we can talk about that on the next podcast. But season 1 and 2 definitely has a ton of content with it as well. But Diane never makes an appearance, but anytime Dale needs to give an exposition dump of like, Diane, you might remember it was on this case where this happened, this is similar, or I'm going to use this method. He like talks into a tape recorder to kind of give the audience, like, it's kind of the wink at the audience of, this is for your benefit, but this is him logging his case as he goes, and he is constantly doing that. But again, my first exposure to him was guys hanging from the ceiling first thing in the morning. Okay, sure, why not? And
yeah,
I actually went back and rewatched the pilot, or watched the pilot after finishing all the way through season 1 and 2. I'm not going to say I didn't miss anything. I did miss a couple of things by skipping it. Like, it was basically just establishing who is who, where are they, what's their relevance to the case, who is sleeping with who is cheating on who, with whom, etc. That's honestly the most complicated part of this whole thing. It's a giant spider web of infidelity. But I was still able to keep up relatively well, even though I accidentally skipped the first episode. So, you get the police station, which has a handful of cast members. See if I can remember all their names. You have Sheriff Truman. His name is Harry. His name is Harry S. Truman. And even Agent Cooper acknowledges, oh, that's easy to remember. You have Best Boy Andy, right, who is the lovable idiot of the group. He's the one who doesn't really understand metaphor. He's the one who talks a little weirdly, but he's the guy who's got the biggest heart, and he actually does have some good development and redemption arc. He's the clumsy one. Like, they're... I don't remember if it was a training... No, I remember. They were about to breach this door to go try to apprehend the criminals. Guy goes for his gun, pulls it, but drops it, and it discharges, and they're yelling at him for it. And then later you see him doing his training. And then later, things get hot, and they need to apprehend a suspect who is taken a hostage. And while he turns to shoot one of the guys, you hear a shot ring out. Then the perp, like, keels over from an injury, and you see it's Andy standing there with the smoking pistol. I was like, my man, redeemed himself. Lucy is the secretary. She and Andy were an item. It's either Audrey or Laura. I can never keep it straight. Who is the stiff, the murdered girl who the entire story is centered around. I want to say it's Laura. If I'm wrong, then someone will correct me, I'm sure. But there are two characters. One's named Laura, one's named Audrey. I'm pretty certain it's Laura. Now, she is the centerpiece of all this, and one of the main suspects was her boyfriend named Bobby Briggs, which that name's been reused in at least one work I know No, it was Family Guy. They referenced his name in Family Guy, and he's the guy who like shot Joe's legs to where that's why he is in a wheelchair. So yeah, they referenced Twin Peaks by using that name for him. But it turns out that Bobby was actually cheating on Laura with someone who works at the diner named Shelly. But she is married, even though she's still in high school. But the thing is, her husband's a scumbag and is really abusive. So I actually don't blame her for stepping out. Like I give her some grace. Because, like, you shouldn't be with Leo in the first place because he's, like, really, really bad dude. And honestly, it's just a giant spider web of who is dating who is married to who is cheating on who with who. It's really hard to find. I can count on one hand the number of people who weren't cheating. Cooper, Harry, Andy. I don't think Lucy was actually cheating on Andy, but she did get with another guy, but it was one of those we were on a break kind of things, because that becomes a plot point, like, later on. There's like, oh, who's the father of her child that's about to be born? We don't know. It could be either or.
Right.
I want to say it was while they were on a break kind of deal. And...
oh boy, like Spike.
Of the main cast, yeah, there's like 4, and then there's like one side character who wasn't involved with all that. But you get what I'm saying. It's, again... the best way to describe it, spiderweb of infidelity, and I'm having trouble keeping track of who is who.
Right.
Without just going into everything that's plot relevant, which this is one of those to where if you have even a passing interest in it, I think it's definitely worth watching. If nothing else, it's different than pretty much anything we have nowadays, so it's good for the style. Even if you're not there for the plot, it's good for the narrative storytelling and for the characters we get. There are a couple of things of the show that obviously have aged and are a little dated now because it came out in the year 1990 and 91. You know, as things change and age and time marches on, some sensitivities change. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was not ready for the ending of season 2. It was one of those where they were building up to it, and I saw it coming, but I was like, please don't do it. No, they did it anyway. Okay. Now let's talk about one of the most iconic things about Twin Peaks. The Red Room. That is the room that is, like, surrounded by red curtains, and it's, like, you see it referenced in, like, liminal space sub-forums all the time. And what makes it so trippy, but not even talking about what it actually is, because that is kind of explained later, what makes it trippy is Cooper visits it for the first time in a dream. And while he is in said dream, the characters are talking to him. They have this really weird effect over the voice. It sounds like they are speaking backwards. Because if you ever said anything and then played it back, you know there's that slight distortion to it that's the only way you actually hear it. But their words are coming out normally. So the only thing I can figure is that they phonetically said all the words backwards and then reversed it to where they are speaking the words forwards, but it still has that distortion effect to it, to give it that otherworldly kind of vibe. Like,
that would be a cool way of doing that.
Like, did you ever have you ever looked at the behind the scenes of Weird Al's Amish Paradise video? That shot at the end of the video where everything is going in reverse, he is phonetically singing or mouthing his lyrics backwards. It is an actual reversed shot.
Huh.
So,
how about that?
Like, I can't even fathom the amount of concentration and skill that takes. So I imagine they did something similar to that in order to achieve that effect, which, simple in concept, really difficult to actually pull off. Now, the Red Room is referenced in Soul Eater because it is this otherworldly kind of place, and there's a little man who dances, and there's music accompanying it. And Soul Eater, you get whenever Soul is corrupted by the black blood, he has this, like, mental subspace he can go into where there is a little short demon guy who likes to dance, and there's a piano in there, and that, I'm like, that's clearly a Twin Peaks reference right there. One absolute curveball I was not expecting of a reference. Have you ever played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, or you ever watched anyone play it? Have you heard some of the absurdities of the first game?
I do know a little bit about it, yeah.
Do you know that they tried to interrogate a parrot in the final case of the first game?
I did not know that. That's incredible.
That's from Twin Peaks. Because the parrot is like saying words, and they're like, the parrot was in the proximity of the crime scene at the time. Bring it in and put a tape recorder next to it and see if it squawks for us. And I'm like, Phoenix Wright ripped that from Twin Peaks? What?
That's so funny.
Right? And I'm just amazed that, like, this media from Japan is referencing this American show from the 90s. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing is, my friend who recommended this,
prolific, yeah.
my friend who recommended this didn't know I did this. So I'm over here spitting out all these times Twin Peaks has been referenced. And they're like, really? Okay, cool. Heck yeah. Like, I'm going to throw messages right now to see if I can find any, like, specific moments that, like, maybe have that reaction besides just the parrot and, again, the red room being referenced. Come on, it's in here somewhere. There's, like, one other... Oh, yeah, I remember. Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've heard about this one, I believe.
This one it's so subtle you wouldn't even know it unless you actually knew Twin Peaks, but it's the episode when they have the anonymous food critic. And that's not even a super major plot point relevant to the overarching plot of Twin Peaks. It's a subplot, like, for one of the side characters, but they reference that in Zack and Cody, make a full episode out of it. It's like, there's a food critic coming to the restaurant in the hotel in Zack and Cody, and they don't know who it is, and they say, oh, the last time the critic was here, they were wearing a cowboy hat. They're dressed like a cowboy. And so a guy in a cowboy hat is there, and they're like, oh, that must be the critic. But it turns out, no, it's actually this guy in a suit over here. It was a misdirect. And then in Twin Peaks, they're like, yeah, anonymous food critic. We don't know who it is. And then they see a man wearing a cowboy hat come in, and they're like, oh, that's probably our food critic because he's clearly out of town. And then they swipe his wallet while he's in the bathroom and look at it. Oh, he's FBI. Never mind. Puts it back. And then we find out... We find out who
when you accidentally the FBI.
right, and then they find out who the actual critic is later, and I'm like, it's not, again, it doesn't impact the plot overall. It is just there for some character development. But I'm like, Zack and Cody referencing Twin Peaks. What the heck, man? If you knew half the stuff that goes on in this show, like, it's like all those kids movies from that, like, short span of time that would reference Silence of the Lambs for no apparent reason. Like Garfield and Alvin and the Chipmunks are just like quoting Hannibal Lecter, and I'm like, kids aren't gonna watch that. What are you doing?
I think Alvin and the Chipmunks also references Pink Flamingos.
I'm not familiar with
which
that
is
one.
absolute. Oh, keep it that way. That is.
Oh no.
That is. God, who is? I'm trying to think of the guy that made that. Is a really like raunchy auteur director. John Waters, that's it, made that. So yeah, that is a super raunchy movie. I think there's shit eating in that movie. Yeah, Pink Flamingos is gross, and they reference that in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, wow. Okay, but so to summarize what I want to say on this podcast about Twin Peaks without going full spoiler, because I could do like a full spoiler tangent. Like I would need to rewatch it to refresh, or just like watch a Cliff Notes version to remind myself again. But for what I want to say here tonight, because we got a lot more to talk about, if you have even a passing interest in it, go watch it. It's on Pluto.tv for free. At least the first 2 seasons are. Not sponsored. Just want to get that out there. But that is the easiest way to watch it. It's out there. It's free. Just gotta deal with ads, or don't if you have ad blocker. If you have a passing interest and you have the time, this is also one of those where you don't need to just turn on the background and listen. You need to actually watch it because there are several visual cues for a lot of things as well. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, and season 1, for the most part, is relatively grounded in reality, and then season 2 just goes completely off the rails and starts getting like the lines between natural and supernatural start to blur, and that's when things really go off the rails. And apparently the movie Fire Walk With Me is a prequel that explains a lot of what's going on with a lot of that. Oh wait, there was one more. What was it? Hold on. No, that's not a reference. That was me remembering some foreshadowing I should have picked up on but didn't at the time. Never mind. That's a spoiler. So
yeah, I was going to ask how you watched it, because I am interested in checking it out. Like, it is such an iconic piece of media that I would like to watch it at some point, but if it's like, I didn't want to, if it was on a subscription service that I didn't have, or...
No, Pluto.tv is free, and again, they have the first 2 seasons. I might have to track down a DVD copy of Fire Walk With Me, or maybe borrow my parents' Paramount subscription, because I think that's where the movie and season 3 are, because season 3 is not on Pluto. Don't know why, or if it is, I haven't been able to find it. But, yeah, season 1 and 2 are right there, and that's the original run. Whenever people talk about the original Twin Peaks, that's what they're referencing.
Okay.
I don't know if Twin Peaks is the one that originated the joke, but they popularized one trope, the one-armed man. He is a bit of a major player for a bit. Not going to say exactly what he does, but I've heard that that has been a trope, or they have referenced or parodied the expression "the one-armed man" in a lot of things. Like I remember one episode of Johnny Bravo. They said, "Oh, who's the perpetrator? He was a two-armed man," and I'm like, I get that's a reference to one-armed man, but I don't know where that reference is from originally. Because, like, again, I was watching that back in the 90s before I knew what Twin Peaks was. So, again...
That's also that's a funny twist on that joke, because it's like, oh, it was a two-armed man. Well, duh, I guess? Like...
Yeah, indeed. Okay, I will say, let me add an addendum to something. If you have a passing interest, go watch it, but content warning. There is a lot of reference to sexual violence. There is murder. Nothing outright grotesquely gory, I wouldn't say, but it's a murder mystery show that does delve into some sexual violence. So, again, it's not overtly graphic, but there's a content warning on that. So I just want to put that out there as a disclaimer. That is there. So, and again, it was released in the 90s, so some things are... dated. Let's use that word. So, again, I do plan to finish the rest of the series when the time is right, when I have the wherewithal, and when I'm not working on something else. That's been very busy with the Mega Man Star Force stuff since it came out, because I am working on an Iceberg video for that. So I'm working on getting the rest of the games recorded so I can remember what all needs to go on this Iceberg chart. People have been asking me for that for a couple of years at this point. Need to finally give it to him. But I know that wasn't really a lot plot-wise, but that's all I really have for Twin Peaks without spoiling everything. So there it is.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be very hard to keep up with without the context of watching it, because there are so many characters and their interpersonal relationships form that, like, the Charlie Day, Pepe Sylvia board of, like, this person's connected to this person, this connected to this person, this connected to this person, kind of thing.
Especially when they want to hit you with, like, a curveball where, like, okay, this guy was introduced, like, 2 episodes ago. What's his backstory? Oh, he's been in jail this whole time? Oh, he's just now coming back? Okay, that's cool. Gonna look forward to meeting him and learning about him. Oh, here's a character from the very first episode. Okay, okay, why is the guy who just got out of jail suddenly in the same room, and you're acting like you know each other? You're acting like you did something super secretive together? What? No, you're not cheating together? Okay, that's one. You had some shady past together? What? But that's not the reason you were in prison? Yes, it is exactly that. That's how you keep track of who is who. And, again, it's who is dating who's cheating with who, etc. Who's homewrecking, who's not. Ugh. Oh, last reference that I can think of, Adam Sandler. Little Nicky. The name Little Nicky, if it didn't originate with Twin Peaks, it might have at least been popularized by Twin Peaks, because there is a kid in a foster system, and one of the side characters tries to like be his foster father, but every time that they're together, something bad happens, whether or not it's the kid's fault, and the foster dad says, I think this kid might be the devil, or might be demonic, because his past guardians have experienced this set of incidents, and I have also had some misfortunes with him. So the whole thing of the movie Little Nicky, the spawn of Satan kind of thing, I think it might be a reference to Twin Peaks, but that could be incorrect, because apparently Old Nick is a name for Satan as well. I didn't learn that until the recent 28 Days Later movie trailer. That's one I've never heard before, but that it could be the Adam Sandler movie title could be a reference to that. I haven't seen it, but I just know that the movie exists. So there it is.
Yeah, like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out.
I fibbed. One last one, without elaborating too much. But Araki, the creator of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, has gone on record saying Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, was heavily inspired by Twin Peaks and takes a lot of the elements like of the plot and a lot of the minute details about it and has worked it into JoJo Part 4. It's not a direct one-to-one, but there are a lot of similarities in there. And once you notice them, you can't unnotice them. Okay, that was the last one. Done.
I definitely believe it.
Yeah. So it's like, everything is a JoJo reference? No, everything is Twin Peaks reference.
Yeah, it's like that's the like Ascension meme where it's like everything is a JoJo reference. No, everything is Twin Peaks
Galaxy Brain.
reference and like on the way down. Yeah. So you may or may not have noticed that current events kind of suck out there right now. The real world is a pretty awful place to be living in right now. There is barely a shred of good news to be found anywhere in the world, honestly.
Indeed.
And so I was quite happy with the fact that I can actually report on current events that are fucking cool and rad and awesome.
China has put a major ban on using AI for something. It said AI ban, and I clicked thumbs up, so that's all I saw.
Okay, I'll have to look into that. But have you been keeping up with the Artemis 2 mission?
Not at all.
Okay. I would highly recommend watching a quick video by Crown Prince of Logartum Hank Green on it, because it's a nice, concise way to look at all the photographs that they took while they were up there. This is the coolest thing I have seen all year. And one of the coolest things I've seen in my lifetime, because this, I think, is the first time we've had... First of all, this was the furthest away from Earth that humans have ever been, and it is the closest to putting humans back on the moon that we've done since the Apollo missions. And the difference between the Apollo missions and now is like nearly 60 years of video and camera equipment. And so
I did see that we have updated pictures of the Earth from space, and of course, flat earthers be like, "Oh, it's AI generated. It's not real."
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Trust me. We'll get to that.
But of course, the real reason we took so long to get back to the moon is because there was actually a Cybertronian ship on there, and it contained a space bridge, and it's a whole big government cover-up. Yada yada yada. Deep Wang, you get the idea.
Yeah, they stole. He downloaded Leonard Nimoy's voice before he died. And, yeah, it's the whole thing. So, because we have really good video technology now compared to in the 60s,
indeed,
there are incredible videos and photographs of the launch. So, the most impressive one to me was a video from a Cessna plane by NASA that shows the launch, and so the plane is in the air, 10,000 feet or whatever, and it shows the rocket going up past the plane, and the camera continues to track the rocket as it passes the plane and goes into the upper atmosphere, and it tracks it all the way up until the point where the boosters detach, and you see the boosters like sputtering out as they like the boosters don't like come crashing straight back down to Earth. They kind of stay in the in orbit in the upper atmosphere, and the rocket continues to go. And I'm like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. As somebody that loves, so I love sci-fi and space and astrophysics. It's a bit of a I wouldn't say a hyperfixation, but it's something I've been passionate about my entire life since I was a little kid. Seeing something like this was absolutely unprecedented. And so we have great video and footage of the launch. We have great video and footage of the journey. As you said, we have great, amazing photos of the Earth from space. And the Hank Green video can unpack this further, but one thing that's interesting is the perspective. So obviously there's no up and down in space. There's no like north, south, east, west orientation. So your your perspective of the continents and like the direction they're facing is arbitrary. And so the way that the view of the Earth that they have is like, okay, here's Africa down here, but it's like the wrong way around because you're not lined up neatly with how we think of a globe,
Right.
right? So, uh, and there's like my favorite. I'll keep this brief, but my favorite picture. So they launched on April 1st, I want to say, and they were delayed by a couple days due to the weather or funding or something like that. And the from the captain, I want to say, said from the module, he's like, I'm actually really glad we got delayed so we launched on the day that we did, because had we launched earlier, the moon would have been in its orbit in a different orientation and we wouldn't have been able to get this incredible photo. And what the photo is a um the sun is on the other side of the Earth. So the Earth is the module is in shadow because it's looking at the dark side of the Earth. And do you know what the ecliptic is?
Mm, I don't think so.
So the ecliptic is basically the orbital pattern that the planets follow around the sun. And because of the way the planets formed, they are all relatively in the same like plane with each other. So even though there's no up or down, left, right in space, etc., the planets in terms of where they are in their orbit around the sun are relatively lined up with each other. That's called the ecliptic.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
And so there is a shot, and again, I'll link you the Hank Green video where you can see the shadow of the Earth, and you can see little dots going out to the side, and it's all the other planets lined up in the ecliptic, and it is one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. And they go around the moon, so they rendezvous with the moon and they swing around it and come back, and so we get a really cool picture of the backside of the little dark side of the moon,
Yeah.
because we normally don't get to see that because the moon is tidally locked with the Earth. So the moon, if you have the Earth and the moon, rather than the moon going like this around the Earth, it's going like this around the Earth. It's always facing the same side because it's what they call tidally locked.
Right.
And so that's why we always see the same side of it. And that's a relatively common phenomenon with other planets and moons, so it's not like super unusual. But yeah, as expected, the good old flat earthers and moon landing deniers and other conspiracy theory nutcases had a field day with this, because you get the one asshole neo-Nazi guy, Eric Dubé, who's out there with his like terrible vocal uh, range, where he's like, "Isn't it convenient that they wait to send people back to the moon when advanced AI technology has been created?" And I'm just like, this guy needs to not be allowed to have internet. We need to like take it away from him. Um, and there's another guy who is like a really obnoxious moon landing denier that's been platformed by like Joe Rogan and stuff like that, where he actually he got punched in the face by Buzz Aldrin, I think it was, because he tried to like say to his face that the moon landing was a hoax, and he was like harassing him in public for like several minutes straight until the guy was eventually like, "Dude, get out of my face!" And he like decked him right in the face.
Now,
This was years ago, of course, but
now, I don't buy into the conspiracy, but that was actually one of my favorite parts about the PS2 game, Area 51. As you go deeper and deeper, eventually you find a backdrop of the moon and a cardboard cutout of the landing probe and a camera setup, making a joke that the moon landing was staged. Like, again, I don't buy into it, but that was hilarious.
yeah, yeah, no, the moon landing was definitely not fake. It was real, and even if it wasn't possible in the '60s, it sure is now, because all
Right.
the you know, we have basically the entire voyage of the Artemis
We
2.
have the technology.
Um, yeah, pretty much entirely documented. So, again, this mission was not to put humans on the moon. The Artemis 3 supposedly will be for that, but it was to it was a test run to basically test instruments and plot their course and stuff like that. So, and as far as I'm concerned, that is a huge success. So, definitely one of the coolest things that has come out of this year. And again, I love the flex from NASA's part here because you have these losers, these wealthy losers like Elon Musk that think they can do a space program, and you have these other losers in our political administration that want to defund NASA and defund all these other programs and send more money to Israel and send more money for wars and stuff like that. And it just goes to show that with like a tiny fraction of the budget for the military industrial complex, because NASA has always been underfunded, with a tiny percent of that budget, nobody does it better. Nobody does it better because
Look what they need to equal a fragment of our power.
yeah, exactly. Because just I want to see the you know those the like Giga Chad edits where it's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
black and white pictures of dun dun
Yeah,
dun
yeah,
dun dun dun.
I'm,
Like
I'm
I
well aware,
want
yeah.
that with just the NASA logo like flexing on SpaceX and all that because um it just like again all this thing of like oh Elon Musk is gonna put us on Mars and it blows up another several billion-dollar rocket. He's like, oh, I think that was a amazing success. It only blew up a little bit. Meanwhile, NASA's like, let's go to the moon, bitches. Also, our this is gonna sound like a tangent. Maybe some if you don't get this, I know some people in your chat will probably get this. Um, are you familiar with the Sonic Adventure fan dub?
I'll come to make an announcement.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I am very
the
aware. I was reciting that. Yep, that spoilers. Never mind. Never mind. So,
yeah.
yes,
So
I'm pissing on the
obviously
moon.
the capsule, the Orion module has to jettison its fluids. So technically,
Oh no!
someone
No!
How do you like that, Obama? We pissed on the moon.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Also, random side note: that guy, God, Michelle's gonna kill me. I can't remember his name.
That's okay. I don't know it either.
Who voices Eggman in that? Is gonna be at MomoCon again this year, I believe.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And I'm tempted to go up to him and ask him, like, what are your thoughts on Shadow the Hedgehog? Just to see if he starts going off.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he gets that, like, all the time.
I think the only guest that
Alfred, yeah.
I think the only guest that I'm super hyped for Momo this year is Sam Riegel because I'm finally gonna get him to autograph my Studio Dean dub Fate Stay Night DVDs, and my sister was gracious enough to pay for it because Critical Role stuff is expensive, and she follows Critical Role and I don't. That's just where our interests happen to overlap a little bit. Same guy, but we like him for different things, and she jumped on the tickets before they sold out, so I thank her for that.
I am gonna have to look into that. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna have time to get autographs this year, but I don't have any interest in Critical Role.
Yeah.
But I obviously had an interest in Sam Riegel.
He is part of Critical Role, so you have to book all your autographs in advance, and they're probably sold out by now. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I've really hated about bigger cons nowadays. They're starting to like, I know autographs like have been commercialized forever, but it's like you're making it hard. Yes, yep. Yes,
Sam Riegel.
yes. I was gonna say War for Cybertron, Starscream. I know you. I know you like him for that one. Part of me kind of wants to just take that clip of me accidentally flipping my goggles down and just have that be a reaction clip.
That would be a nice emote. Yeah.
I got it on my actual camera too. Like it's recording off the stream, so I might make that a little reaction, and I don't know what I use it for, but it's there now.
He also, I think the thing I would want him to sign, because I started this years ago and haven't really done anything with it, is the Basara art book because he's Mori Motonari in that.
Heck yeah.
But so far, I only have Troy Baker for that.
Yeah. I've slowly been working my way through and getting everyone who's involved with Critical Role, or not Critical Role, but everyone who's involved with the Dean Works to sign my my DVDs one by one. I had a friend get Liam O'Brien to autograph them. I think I was able to get Michelle Ruff and Kate Higgins, and I think I had to give it to a friend to get Elia to autograph it. And next is Shiro. And from there, I still need Jameson Price because he was Kirei in that series. And then, of course, Tony Oliver's Lancer. I don't know when I'll have the opportunity for that, but...
yeah. Well, it's a shame that... it's funny because you and I were at the same con with Michelle Ruff together. Mm-hmm. That was like 2018 Comic-Con, I think it was.
I don't remember, man. It's been too long.
I'm certain it was 2018 Comic-Con. 2015 Dragon Con, I met Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt, and Tara Platt is Caster and Dean.
Yeah.
So I wish I could have gotten that one back then. But
Yuri Lowenthal, he's a lot of stuff. I actually am featuring him in a video I've got cooking up on the back burner. I've wanted to do a bunch of little side videos of same voice actor, Mega Man edition. It's like, start with who they voiced in Mega Man and then show like their entire roster. Yuri Lowenthal voiced one of the most punchable characters in the Mega Man Star Force anime. So,
oh yeah.
So I was like, oh, he's also Simone from Gurren Lagann. Okay.
Yep.
Just, these two are the same person. All right. So, you probably heard all that clicking and clacking that was going on off camera. Yeah, this is what I've been working on. This is Mini Primus's robot mode.
Suddenly, not a globe.
Yeah, something not a globe. The globe is like Gundam Sandrock's giant shuttle, however you pronounce that. And the base turns into a shield. I told you this, I am almost upset at how good this thing is considering it's a bootleg.
Mm-hmm.
It's just immensely fun. But, set that aside for now.
Yeah, I think that's all I had to say about the Artemis 2 mission, though. I just think it was one of the coolest things I've seen in years, and I was already kind of deep in a rabbit hole of, like, pseudoscience and conspiracy theory debunking content.
Yeah.
Is one of my YouTube genres that I like to watch, and I have to take a break from it sometimes because sometimes it is deeply depressing, particularly when it comes to anti-vax stuff and all the stuff that RFK is doing in our administration right now. Like I've actually been to protests about that, not to peel back the curtain too much, but I take that stuff very seriously, and it is very depressing. So sometimes I kind of have to take a step back from that debunking content and just be like, you know what? For my mental health, I'm going to watch a video about a video game or something and not watch this stuff about current events.
That's why I haven't watched the news in like 18 years, because every single time I've immediately wanted to leave. I'm like, no, can't do it for my own mental health. It's like, yeah, it's irresponsible, but it's either that or I don't want to be on this planet anymore. And very few ways I can accomplish that. So I'm just going to leave that where it is.
Well, speaking of not wanting to be on this planet anymore,
Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
Might as well bring up something for May the 4th.
Yeah.
Do I got anything? Yeah. There we go. Star Wars Coffee Cup. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Maul's Shadow Lord. I actually haven't watched the last 2 episodes yet. I was waiting for Bree to get home from work, but by the time by the time we had dinner, it was already time to start the stream. So I'm 2 episodes behind on that because they release every Monday. But all I gotta say, it's exactly everything I asked for in a Darth Maul series if they were not doing a episode 1 prequel. Because from the end of Clone Wars to Solo, when he makes that cameo, that's a several-year time skip, but also a massive glow-up in status. So, Clone Wars. Bro goes from being chopped in half and on a garbage planet, using the Force to create a big spider leg lower body for himself, completely overrun by madness, like his mind is gone. The only thing fueling him is his desire for revenge against Obi-Wan. He gets found by his brother, gets taken to to his home planet of Dathomir. The Night Sisters do a ritual on him. They literally extract the madness from his mind in the form of black clouds, and he regains his sanity. They rework his lower body into robot chicken legs, and then he goes on a rampage, slaughtering a bunch of innocent civilians to draw out the Jedi, and he starts taking over several crime syndicates. He eventually teams up with Deathwatch, who is like the old guard of Mandalore who aren't on board with the whole pacifist thing that they're doing. They're like, we are a warrior culture, so we want to fight. That's why we're bounty hunters and mercenaries. Maul takes over them by challenging their leader to one-on-one combat, wins, claims the Darksaber for himself, did all that without using the Force, by the way, becomes the leader of Mandalore, gets bodied by Darth Sidious, loses everything when he gets captured at the end of the Clone Wars during Order 66. So his empire is in ruins. A couple of the criminal organizations that he had under his belt have turned their backs on him. He is running away, and the next time we see him chronologically is in Solo: A Star Wars Story, where we find out he is the leader of Crimson Dawn. And for those who haven't kept up with Disney canon, especially in the side material, Crimson Dawn is described as the biggest crime ring in the galaxy, where their number of combatants and agents have been described as the number of sands on a beach. Grains of sand on a beach. Anakin Skywalker's worst nightmare. And I'm like, how do you go from being, like, nothing to leader of Crimson Dawn? How do you do that? Show your work. You don't just do that overnight. And that's what... go ahead.
Remind me, is Crimson Dawn the antagonist organization in the Solo movie? Is that right?
Yes it is.
Okay, because the name rung a bell, but I only watched Solo the one time.
Yes,
it's actually my least favorite of the new Star Wars stuff for the most part.
Even more so than Rise of Skywalker.
About
to say, you can make a point for Last Jedi, but
Skywalker's worse. Yeah,
about to say. Someday. Gogglehead reviews on those someday. But so that's what Maul Shadow Lord is doing. They're showing Maul rebuilding his criminal empire, hunting down the crime lords who betrayed him, while he's also having to throw hands with the Empire, and he is taking on a new apprentice who is a red-skinned Twi'lek female who we assume is going to be the current canon stand-in for Darth Talon, because what George Lucas's vision for the sequel trilogy originally was that Palpatine doesn't come back, he is dead, but Darth Maul is still alive, and in Episode 7, he would come back as a big crime lord, because with the destruction of the Empire, there's now a power vacuum. He decides to step in, and his apprentice is Darth Talon, who is, again, a red-skinned Twi'lek. So I feel like that's where they're going with this. And yes, there's the thing of Darth Talon from the comics is from a couple hundred years in the future, but George has said those aren't his stories, so he can do what he wants. Fair enough, but I feel like that's where they're going with this. If it's not Darth Talon directly, it is going to be her current canon stand-in for Darth Talon, kind of like in the way that Ben Solo is Jason Solo, Kylo Ren is Darth Caedus, etc. And so far, I've really been liking it. I don't really have any major complaints except one, and that's because yes, it's like a crime lord movie to where he's being hunted, he's being chased by the police. There is one of the main characters is a police officer, not a chief, but like he is like one of the like investigators. Maul had him dead to rights and had the opportunity to end him, but didn't. And I'm like, why are you letting him go? That's gonna come back to bite you later. As far as I know, it hasn't really yet, but it probably will later. Other than the Empire got involved, which they would have gotten involved anyway. But I'm really liking it so far. Yeah, a lot of characters got assassinated by modern works. Maul is one who has so far managed to avoid character assassination and has actually had some decent development to add to his toolkit. So far so good. Like, I'm really loving it, and we are confirmed to get a second season already.
Yeah, I know that you especially were very excited about this being a thing.
Literally my favorite Star Wars character, so...
Yeah, this is like one of your favorite characters to have a series where they are the protagonist is like a dream come true type situation. And it's interesting to see to go from again being a kid when Phantom Menace came out and seeing it in theaters and seeing Darth Maul just being this one-off antagonist for that movie who was really cool, don't get me wrong, but also then, presumably dies in that movie. And I guess just having like being so beloved by the fans that this kind of thing was necessary. It's very similar to um, how they did with the original trilogy and Boba Fett kind of thing, where it's like, oh, it's a shame that character died so unceremoniously. Wish we could have gotten more screen time with them. Wish we could have gotten to know them. But I guess the Book of Boba Fett series is not as well liked. People don't seem to like it as much.
Not really. I would say count like if you want me to split hairs here, I would say Darth Maul at least gave us a show. Boba Fett gave us nothing in the movies. The best you got out of Boba Fett was in the holiday special, and no one watched that.
Oh,
That's just because I'm one of those who will take Jango Fett over Boba Fett every single day of the week. Legends doesn't count anymore. I'm talking about like actually produced like visual media here, like movies and cartoons and stuff. I'm halfway joking, but it's just everyone want to be like, "Woo, Boba Fett." I'm like, boring Fett.
yeah, but I guess how I don't have much to say about Shadow Lord other than I would be curious to check it out if I ever got around to
Finishing Clone Wars.
consuming Clone Wars and Bad Batch is what I really want to watch. So, um, I I have told a friend I am committed to one day doing that. Because I've looked at the prices for like the Blu-rays and stuff like that, or they've talked about giving me their account so I can log in and stuff like that, and I just need to commit time to it,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be tough. But
Good
I
luck
would
with
I would
that
only
because Disney started cracking down on password sharing. That's why I had to get my own subscription because it kicked my brother off of his smart TV because he was sharing. I was like, y'all suck.
yeah. So that's one thing I'm a little bit apprehensive of when it comes to that, and yeah, I just wish that I could own Clone Wars and I think there is like a DVD set or a Blu-ray set of most of it, but I know it's like in big chunks because there was final season was released later after the series was already over, and it was a whole thing. So,
I don't even
um,
know if season 7 even got a legal physical media release. But I know that they did release whole seasons for the first 6 seasons. They also have them
yeah,
released in like volume or episodic releases where it's like the Return of Darth Maul disc where it features these episodes from this season but nothing else, and it doesn't have like
ooh,
the whole
yeah,
season.
that's a really crusty way of
But
releasing it. I don't miss that era of
yeah,
DVDs.
as was the style at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, so I guess I guess to continue the Star Wars conversation just a little bit because it is May the 4th.
Heck yeah.
I put on the shirt
May,
specifically for that
may the
reason.
fourth be with you all.
Um, Next year is the 50th anniversary. I don't know how to feel about that. Uh,
It's just
so
insert that GIF from Saving Private Ryan of the guy aging rapidly.
yeah,
What am
yeah.
I worried about? I wasn't even born when the first movies came out. What am I worried about?
Well, I have a friend who was born in 77, and I'm not ready for her to be 50. Like it's scary. And then uh to also think that when I was a kid watching these for the first time, it was on their 20th anniversary,
Yep. Yep.
and 30 years have passed since then is wild. My whole life has passed since then. Um, and also like again realizing it's like obviously it was a very formative piece of media for my early childhood because again I'm pretty sure I watched Star Wars for the first time when I was 4.
Same.
Um,
Three or
and
four thereabouts. Yeah.
my fifth and sixth birthdays were Star Wars themed, and obviously sixth was when Phantom Menace came out. And so uh, it's weird because we talk about like media that is or is not appropriate for kids, and it's like there's definitely some stuff in Star Wars that's not appropriate for kids because like I don't remember who I was having this conversation with recently, but I was having a conversation with friends about like stuff that was inappropriate to see at a certain age or whatever, like kids watching stuff that they weren't supposed to watch. And my dad showed me Star Wars like on purpose. He knew what was in it. But but A New Hope has like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru getting like incinerated, like burned to their skeletons, and I'm like, that's fucked up. I'm surprised that's still in re-releases of the film. Like, I'm surprised they didn't like cut that out of the Blu-ray version or whatever.
Again, need I reference All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Mm-hmm.
Children's movie.
Yeah.
Doggy getting dragged to hell scene. Don Bluth going way harder than he should. No, he should go.
Don Bluth was all about that in the 90s, though.
That was 80s. That was 80s, bro.
Oh,
but this is post Star Wars, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think about, and I don't know if like, I'm pretty sure when it was released theatrically, A New Hope was PG.
Yeah. The first Star Wars that was PG-13 was Revenge of the Sith, and I'm fairly certain it was either just because of the Count Dooku decapitation or because Anakin got set on fire. It's one of those two.
I think it's the latter because Django got decapitated in
True.
Clones. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess without getting too nostalgic or introspective, I guess in terms of like current Star Wars media, there's not that much I'm super interested in. Again, I most of the post Disney acquisition stuff I am not super keen on. When I get to it kind of thing. But I am really excited about this new racing game coming out. So did you see, I think it was actually yesterday, they released a new trailer for the Galactic Racer?
I have heard announcements about it, but I haven't watched the trailer for it. I'm just grabbing this right here because it's within arm's reach and we're talking Star Wars. But me and Bree and her sister are having different movie marathons at different points in time. And we are going through watching different like bits of media. Like first we marathoned The Hunger Games, and then we're going to watch How to Train Your Dragon. And then after we do that, we are finally getting to a Star Wars movie marathon. And I've been over here collecting the DVDs full screen of the previous run because I think that the special edition full screen widescreen is the best way to watch the original trilogy because the Blu-rays are too high definition. I know that sounds dumb, but it's like with all the stuff they added in, like one, they don't have the original theatrical cuts. This is a 2-disc edition that has the at the time remaster and the theatrical run, but the modern ones, it's too crisp. It's too high definition to where all the CGI stuff they added, it looks like you could reach up there and peel it off like a sticker. Like, is that Bantha actually there? Just peel it off. Who put this on my screen? That's what it feels like. So that's why I think the slightly lower image quality of the DVD version makes for a more immersive experience. So that's the version we'll be going with. And we got a fat stack to go through here. Because she is relatively new to Star Wars, she did go watch Solo with us, and I think she might have been with us to watch The Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, maybe not. She at least watched Solo with us, I know that much. But, so we're going chronological order. We got The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. Then we're watching the 2003 Clone Wars micro-series because this is imperative to any Star Wars marathon. I don't care if it's canon or not, it's canon to me. And then, if she wants to, if we have time, we're going to watch the Clone Wars pilot movie, which is just an extended episode to promote the cartoon. And then, of course, the rest of the series after that, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But that's how we're going to do this as a crash course introduction to the main Star Wars media.
So, why chronological order and not release order?
Because we are including the Clone Wars, and I like the foreshadowing a little bit better that way. Have you seen the 2003 Clone Wars series?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's honestly it. Like, the progression of how we get there. That's honestly it. It's because I want to watch Darth Maul faster. He's my favorite character, so I want to watch Phantom Menace first.
Oh, so you're making it about you. I see. Because I guess my thing is if I were introducing somebody to Star Wars,
you start with the original trilogy, yeah. We had
Yeah,
a
and
similar conversation about Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night, because it's one of those
yeah,
do you want to watch it chronologically, or do you want to watch it in release order? Like
because
so
normally that argument for me is, when you make a prequel, you are making it within the context of the thing it's a prequel to already existing. And so part of the appreciation is knowing what it is a prequel to. But that doesn't really work with Phantom Menace, because Phantom Menace kind of has fuck all to do with the rest of the series, with the exception of Obi-Wan being introduced, and then like that Darth Vader was a guy named Anakin Skywalker, and then you see a kid that is named that, and that's like the only real, aside from like hyping him up as a chosen one and being really really force sensitive, the Phantom Menace doesn't really. It could be a completely different time and place. It doesn't have that much else to do with the original trilogy. Um, so it takes the other movies to kind of set that up, but um, yeah, I don't know. I would just if it was a first time, because like our friend Avani, who
yes, yes, yes.
I helped her move in 2016, and when we got done moving her, we went and saw Rogue One,
Yep.
and she wanted to see it. It's her idea, but she had not seen anything Star Wars prior to that, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know what to expect from this movie, and she did enjoy it for what it was. And but then with her roommates at the time and the rest of her friends did watch the rest of the movies and did watch them in chronological order, and I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I don't. I think some of the material is only um is like best appreciated when you're already a fan. And I can't imagine how awkward it would be to go from the visual effects of a movie from 2005 to the visual effects of a movie from 1977 as you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if it's the other way around, it's a gradual progression of like greater and greater technology, whereas you're having to like, not that visuals and graphics or everything like make the media or anything, but because they definitely don't. But it's like, um, trying to think of a another example. It would be like um, playing. Oh, duh. Oh, for the perfect Metal Gear, it'd be like playing Metal Gear Solid 5, and then playing Metal Gear on the PC Engine, which is a top-down 8-bit game. Because that's the timeline order. Like if you play Metal Gear in chronological order, it's all kinds of fucked up. So
Me, who has only played Metal Gear Rising, hasn't touched the rest of it.
yeah. Um. Anyway, I'm really excited about Galactic Racer. I think the thing I'm excited about with Galactic Racer more than anything is the sound design. I think the sound effects just sound so awesome, and I hope that it runs on the Steam Deck really well, even if I have to reduce the graphics in like medium settings. And I hope it has like an offline single player campaign, because it's being marketed with like a collector's edition and with like digital bonuses and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't care about any of this. I want to be able to play it in like 5 or 10 years from now. I don't want it to be another like Squadrons or Battlefront 2 situation where it's like a game dependent on its community to keep it alive. Like, I want it to have single player content. Obviously, a multiplayer component is a big component of a racing game, but I want a spiritual successor to the
Pod
pod
racing game
racing
from the
games.
A64,
Really,
yeah.
yeah. Well, maybe some people played it on the N64, but I played it on the PC as a kid. It
Me with Mega Man
was
Legends.
actually more jank than it was worth, because it was like holding the arrow keys to accelerate and steer. It was a little rough.
Oh, ooh, that sounds rough, man.
It was that, and we also had a flight stick, but it wasn't a very good one. But the flight stick came in handy for TIE Fighter, though. My brother played that to completion. Um, oh, I also got a. I think I sent you this when it came in, but I finally got my limited run physical. Actually, it wasn't limited run; it was a different company, but it's a limited. It's a limited copies physical print of the Dark Forces remaster
Oh,
on the
heck yeah.
Switch.
I remember that, yeah.
I probably will continue to play the original DOS version of Dark Forces on the Steam Deck because it actually runs really well on the Steam Deck, and with the default control scheme, I don't have to do any custom bindings or anything to get the game to work.
Yeah.
And I'll do that just to kind of build up the appreciation for the remaster's graphics
Yeah.
before I touch the remaster. Same thing with the System Shock 2 Anniversary Edition. So I still have the vanilla version on PC and I'm playing it on the Steam Deck, but the remaster I got on the Switch, and so it's like I want to beat the original version, and then so I can appreciate the changes to the remaster when I play that on the Switch. The Switch is not my ideal console for that kind of thing, but it's either PC, which defeats the purpose because I already have it on PC, or the only other console I would have liked to have had it on is PS4. They didn't do PS4 for those two games.
Yeah, I tried to play Dark Forces on... It was either PS4 or Switch, but the joysticks were a little too touchy. I couldn't aim properly. So I tried it for like 5 minutes. And I was like, I'll come back to this later. And I just haven't yet. But that was also on whatever the current port was. Not the remaster, but the previous port of the game. And I have had Dark Forces on my Steam account for over a decade. But I finally have a Steam Deck, so I do want to play them soon. Because I actually want to just sit down and just go through my backlog just all the way through. Just all the stuff I bought a decade ago to justify owning it.
Yeah. I think the only other console release of Dark Forces was PS1. Because it's similar to the other like Doom Engine 2D shooters.
Maybe I'm thinking Jedi Academy. It's in the same series. Maybe it wasn't Dark Forces. Maybe it was Jedi Academy.
You're probably thinking of Jedi Outcast, because I had the same issue with Jedi Outcast on PS4 and Switch, where it's like the aiming just does not feel right. It feels way too sensitive.
Yeah.
And
it's like trying to play GoldenEye on Switch Online without the N64 controller. Like,
yeah,
that's its own tangent, but I'm like, Nintendo, you were this close. You were this close to having it good. But the controllers are messed up.
Yeah, I did play around with the settings a little bit, and I have made some progress in Jedi Outcast on the PS4, but I haven't touched it in a while. All right, take another break to read chat and
yeah. All right. Chat that I've got over here. Master Chief Snake says, you see the Mario Galaxy movie and liked it. Sir Isaac says, Twin Peaks is definitely on the list of, I'll get to it soon because it's such a hallmark. Yeah. Relatable. Master Chief Snake says, have not seen Twin Peaks yet. Sir Isaac replies to our comment on the Sonic thing. I'm whizzing on the moon!
Right.
Nice robot mode in reference to the not Primus over here. Today's Star Wars Day. Yes, it is. Annual Fortnite collab with Star Wars is Clone Wars themes this time, and they got Anakin and Ahsoka with their models looking exactly as they do in the show. Pretty awesome. Star Wars Squadrons is like Star Wars meets Ace Combat, and Master Chief wants a PS5 flight stick with thruster controls, but it costs $100. Yeah, I can understand the hesitation.
Yeah.
Pretty much any controller costs $100 nowadays.
Yeah, Squadrons is sick in VR though. Like, I want to borrow somebody's PlayStation VR just to play Squadrons in VR because it looks so damn cool.
My all-time favorite Star Wars game, as much as I love like lightsaber combat and that kind of thing, to me it's just Rogue Squadron on the N64. Just the flight sim where you're playing as the rebels going around just blowing up Imperial targets. Never gets old, man. Like, I freaking love Rogue Squadron. There's one level that I really hate. Exactly one. All the others I can tolerate. But Escape from Fest is horrible. So, it's an escort mission playing as a snow speeder, and the most efficient way to defeat AT-ATs is by tripping them with the snow speeder. You can destroy them by blasting them, but it'll take you a good, like, solid 3 minutes of continuous blaster fire until they finally explode, and by that time the escorts you're going after are already gone. So, in order to get the gold medal, you have to save all 3 of the walkers that you're trying to steal. You have to destroy enough enemies. You have to collect the bonus item, which only appears after blowing up one of the objectives. So if you complete that objective last, you're going to miss it. And right as you're escorting the walkers to the landing zone where they take off, right as they were getting there, you destroyed all the walkers, you destroyed all the tanks, TIE bombers show up just to ruin your day. That mission was the last one I ever gold medaled as a kid. Like, all the other ones I could do. But that one, especially since even with cheat codes turned on, that'll let you, unlock this starfighter for this level, even though you're not supposed to have it yet. The snowspeeder levels were an exception that didn't allow you to do that. I couldn't be over here with my Y-wing blowing up everything because I have to have the snowspeeder to trip the walkers. Just, Rogue Squadron, I love you, but I hate the snowspeeder levels. Jeez.
Yeah, they really, really, really wanted you to do the gimmick from Empire Strikes Back. They really wanted you to do exactly that.
And it gets worse in Rogue Squadron 3, because there was one mission where you have to set down in your X-Wing to pick up a snowspeeder to go trip that walker. And I'm like, but proton torpedoes! You're telling me I can blow up the Death Star with this thing, but I can't blow up a walker? I'm over here shooting it with torpedoes. I'm like, please blow up. No, go get the snowspeeder. Okay, screw you then. Like, I feel like that... I am one who will criticize Empire Strikes Back more than probably your average Star Wars fan. I feel like that is part of why, because it set a precedent for a lot of Star Wars games at the time that I am still salty about to this day. It has way more problems than that, but that's just the cherry on top. That is just the cherry on top of the misery sundae.
It's not the movie's fault that they wanted to recreate the best set piece from the movie over and over since the Atari.
Since the Atari, yes. Master Chief asks, do I remember the picture of the flight stick sent on the Discord server? I don't off the top of my head, but let me go check real quick and see if I can find it. Would it have been under game chat or would it have been under general chat? Probably game chat. Let me see.
All right, tell you what, while you're doing that, I'm going to get some more water.
Good idea. Stay hydrated. Ah, there we go. Yep. Oh, that is a beautiful looking flight stick right there. Heck yeah. Makes me want to pilot a Gundam with that. The T-Flight HOTAS 4 Civil Aviation Flight Simulation Joysticks. Thrustermaster.com. For Ace Combat, War Thunder, etc. Dude, if I could get those to work in like a Gundam game, that'd be great. Oh, CJ's gone. Whoops. Well, that's okay. I can talk to you, chat, for a little bit. So, how's your day, Master Chief? How's your May 4th been? I'm about out of water, too. But, don't have too much more to talk about. We've got like 2 or 3 more points. And some of them are just going to be brief. Doing good. Glad to hear. Glad to hear. I spent most of the day recording videos for a bunch of Transformers that I bought lately, both official and third party. Like I already showed you the Primus over there, and showed you my Optimus Prime. I have a couple others that wanted to do videos on that I recorded today. Sir Isaac, been doing all right personally, just chilling, waiting to hear back on job application. Hey, best of luck to you, man. And don't let them sell you short. Don't let them undercut you. Make sure that you can get a wage that you're happy with. Make sure that the environment's going to be good. Make sure that if you're going to put yourself out there for your services, make sure that they're going to do you right. Do right by you. Make sure that they treat you good. Because I've had some jobs where I'm just like, you know what, this is terrible. But yeah, so best of luck to you, man. I'm rooting for you. And apparently the Clone Wars Fortnite bundle has Anakin's pickaxe as the dagger from the Mortis arc, which is pretty awesome. I haven't gone that far in Clone Wars yet. I know the stuff about Darth Maul because I watched a compilation of like all of Darth Maul's scenes, and again, I'm a big Maul fanboy, so I know more about him. But Bree and I are working our way through Clone Wars. I think the last thing we watched was the one where that guy was creating that bioweapon, and it's like a race against the clock to get Ahsoka and Padme out from that underground bunker. I think that's the last episode we watched. So we're still in season 1. We're just watching that as we can in between everything else we're watching. Like Cowboy Bebop. That's the current anime that I'm watching. I should have been done with it by now, but it's just been one of those... kind of busy with playing Tomodachi Life on the Switch, so haven't really made a lot of time to watch anime nowadays.
I am back from the hydration dimension.
Yeah.
And so
Master Chief says, I can imagine if Darth Vader from Star Wars is Megatron in Transformers. Well, I wasn't going to make this comparison, but one of the reasons I bought Primus over here was just to be a little moon base for my Unicron to munch on. But they have actually done some Star Wars crossovers with Transformers, and one of which is Darth Vader transforming into the Death Star. That one's going to be on my get list in the near-ish future. But with the Star Wars crossover ones, you got to be careful because some of them I've heard are really, really prone to plastic degradation. They just kind of crumble apart over time. Like this Core Q Megatron. CJ, I showed you this one the other day. I was shooting a video with it earlier, and the leg just kind of fell apart, just snapped off while I was mid-transforming it. Like, this one
That's what you get for third party, though.
This one is official. This is an officially licensed Megatron.
Oh.
I was using him as a comparison point because, like, just for size scale. But, yeah, no, like, the leg just fell off. Like, you can hear a snap on camera, and I'm like, oh, no! So, coming soon. But, Megatron is the Emperor. Yeah, I can see, Megatron is probably Darth Vader, while I would say the Fallen is the Emperor. If you want to at least take the Bayverse into account. I don't really know what the Fallen has been in and anything outside of that. But hey, you think about it in like that's another little movie, not a movie. That's a video I've wanted to do for Transformers 40th anniversary. Everything that Transformers the movie copied off of Star Wars. We got lightsabers.
Yep. So I'm gonna say as well about the Star Wars Transformers product line from 2007.
Yeah.
Most of them are not good.
Yeah.
I have a small handful of them that I thought were good, or at least I wanted their vehicle modes.
Yeah.
If the total figure is not going to be good, but a lot of the robots look really ugly. They have terrible proportions, bad articulation, bad design.
You try to turn humans into giant robots that transform. It just looks awkward. Darth Vader gets a pass because he's wearing a helmet, but.
So I'll give you some deep lore about me when it comes to YouTube. So
okay,
it's 2007. I've just watched Michael Bay's Transformers in theaters, and I'm going on the deep dive binge of like all the material I haven't consumed and want to consume, and getting into the realm of YouTube re-uploads of random clips from the movie and from other shows, and finding the realm of like the YouTube toy reviewers,
as was discussed in his Transformers Armada game for PS2 video, which you all should go watch because it's actually very well made and really good.
Yeah, so in that video, in the Armada video, I show a clip from a YouTuber. His channel name is Diansis, but he would go by Silverbolt at the time.
Heck yeah.
And he is a fellow from the UK, and the clip of him that I'm using is him talking about the Star Wars Transformers. He's specifically talking about the clone ARC 170 figure, which I do have, and that's one of the better ones. But he's talking about how he couldn't bring himself to buy the X-Wing one because he's like, they all have these silly little arms, these silly little legs, and this stupid head, and they just look wrong. And it's like that always stuck with me for years after that, and I love that moment with him so much. And but he also talks about that specific figure, the ARC 170 fighter, the way the legs come out, so the legs kind of fold up underneath the chassis of the ship, and the way they fold out, you grab it just above the knee, and it's a slide joint that slides out the rest of the leg.
Oh, okay.
But it's supported by a pop rivet at the top of the knee. So if you pull on the leg the wrong way, the whole leg just pops out.
Oh no.
It's just terrible design. So yeah, I have like the two or three of those that I think are good, and the rest of them are just like very bad design. They were not popular with Transformers fans back in 2007.
Yeah.
Um,
I only plan to get a handful of them. I do plan to get the Death Star to go along with my Unicron display. I really love the Darth Vader into the Sith fighter, which is just the Jedi Starfighter with the Empire logo slapped on it. That color scheme goes
yeah,
way too hard with that design, so I want that one. And because Darth Maul fanboy, the Sith infiltrator into Darth Maul, I just don't know how good the quality is on that one. And because it's cheap currently and it's made for more modern engineering and probably less prone to plastic crumbling, Mandalorian into the N1 Starfighter actually looks halfway decent. It's on sale on Walmart.com right now, so might, if I can like get the cash on the side, if I'm not saving for Momo, just one more for the collection.
I think I may actually have the Sith Infiltrator Darth Maul one if you want it. It's probably not complete. I'll double check, but I think I got that one when somebody was just offloading their collection
Right.
and didn't want. I didn't buy it new, so if I bought it new, it would have been complete because I take care of my stuff. But
Yeah.
but I'll find out. Like I can pass it off to you at MomoCon if you want.
If you're offering, and if it's not complete, if I can find a way to get the extra parts, then I would very much appreciate it.
Okay,
That saved me from going on my way to get it.
Yeah.
Do you know someone who wants this Titans Return blur? Just while I have you here, because I wanna upgrade, get the Studio Series 86 one as well, and the colors on this figure just ain't doing it for me.
Let me think about it. I may know somebody. Let me think. But I would like to talk about now the thing I've probably been the most excited to talk about in this whole podcast so far.
All right, let's go.
So I am just very occasionally picking up and playing games on the Steam Deck. So when it comes to my handhelds, which would be the 3DS, the Vita, and the Steam Deck, I'm kind of playing each one interchangeably. And unfortunately, I'm playing them in like 15, 20 minute, sometimes 30, 40-minute little tiny bite-sized chunks
Yeah.
before getting too tired and going to bed. And I don't want to play them like that, but that just kind of ends up what's happened is I'm getting ready to lay down for bed, I play a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I'm tired, I'm going to bed.
We are gainfully employed adults in our 30s. That is how we game, unfortunately.
Yeah, and when we are working on other projects, so like when I'm done crunching for MomoCon, I will have more time to sit down and like binge one game for several hours at a time. But I have to occasionally make an offering to the Steam Deck to make sure that I am playing it a little bit, because if I don't play it a little bit here and there and like show that good faith towards my friends that crowdsourced the money to get it for me, then a portal is going to open up above my head in the ceiling, and Avani is going to come down like Sephiroth and stab me with a giant
Clarence. It's going to be
jousting
Clarence.
spear. Well, or I was going to say a giant jousting spear
Rongo
made of
Media,
3D print
yeah.
element that's been sharpened to a point, like it's been like it'll just kill me. So
Did Devani cosplay Lance Oratoria?
yeah.
Yeah, I know her most for Mordred, so I just imagine her coming down with Mordred's sword, just yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be Rongo, but it'll be Rongo made of solid 3D print filament.
Jeez, that's gonna hurt.
So
my brother 3D printed a Digimon Digivice for a cosplay I did recently. Is like that wide and about that tall, made out of resin. That thing's a brick. Like I could put that in a sock and bludgeon someone with it. So
yeah.
I know what you mean. Like, whoa, that's gonna hurt.
So the games that I'm currently playing on the Steam Deck. So I talked about Cruelty Squad, I think, in a previous discussion we had. I haven't touched that in a while. But I'm playing Dusk a little bit, which is a retro boomer shooter type of game that it it was one of the first games to sort of issue in the sort of new nostalgia wave of like of quote unquote boomer shooters. And it is equal parts a love letter to Doom and Quake as much as it is Blood from Monolith Soft.
I've
Or
seen
not
gameplay of Blood. I thought it was made by the same people, but it's definitely made on like a very similar engine to Doom and Wolfenstein. It's very similar to the time, yeah.
Yeah. So Blood was made on the Build engine, which is the Duke Nukem engine. It was made by a company called Monolith, not Monolith Soft that made the Xenoblade games, but Monolith who would later go on to make the Fear games. Different Monolith. So I think it's like Monolith Soft and Monolith Studios or whatever. Anyway, Dusk was made by New Blood is the name of the studio, and they're like a like fan organized crowd-funded indie studio that makes indie boomer shooters. And this is they've sort of created this sort of new wave of like nostalgia games. Dusk is awesome. Dusk plays really well. It's super fun. It has this very like um sort of 80s horror aesthetic. I think there actually are Twin Peaks references in it, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check. But I've heard something of that nature was said already. Fun game, enjoying it a lot. Playing it in very bite-sized chunks. But the other game that I think I'm enjoying it so much that I'm going to commit to playing it to completion pretty soon. But I have gotten further in Hi-Fi Rush. And by further, I mean I've only gotten to like the second real main stage, or I've completed the second main stage. So there's like the prologue and the stage one, and I'm on stage two. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does. Yeah.
So the I've kind of talked about it a little bit before, but this might be one of the coolest character action games I've ever played. Uh, it is it is so cool to like be reliving that feeling I had playing like Vanquish for the first time
Yeah.
and knowing that this is like Shinji Mikami back with the sauce again, where it is a weirdly like Western game in its like style and aesthetic because its aesthetic reminds me a lot of like certain um, Western cartoons, and it has a lot in common with like some of Insomniac stuff, like Sunset Overdrive and Ratchet and Clank with the way the robots look, and it is like equal parts like Jet Set Radio and Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive, but it is also this like rhythm based hack and slash. And this game has got to be a love letter to people who enjoy music or are like really musically inclined, which unfortunately I'm not. But if you like understand music terms and are really good with like beats and tempo and rhythm and stuff like that, this game is gonna come more naturally to you than it would be for me, someone who doesn't know music that well, like somebody who was in band in high school, or knows how to play an instrument is going to love this game. Unfortunately, that's not me, so I have a little bit of an imposter syndrome going into it, but I still do like really love the rhythm-based gameplay. Um, because I think I've talked about it before. So when you are in gameplay, there is an ever-present beat going on in the background. It's in the background music, and it's also a visual element on the screen. So your HUD, your UI, like your health bar at the top, is like pulsating a little bit with a rhythm to it, and then
Have you ever watched Mystery
go
Skulls
ahead.
animated?
No.
All right, I'm gonna send you that as soon as we're done here. It'll probably give like the same kind of idea as that. I just want to make a
Okay.
joke. You said rhythm-based hack and slash. I'm like, yeah, it's called Beat Saber.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
joke.
was
I
trying to
joke.
think of a rhythm game that had the what I was going for there. So and then you have so our protagonist is this guy named Chai, and he is a just lumbering himbo. He's an absolute buffoon, total idiot, and he uh if I remember the prologue correctly, he ends up in this corporation and Michelle is saying in chat, she's like, I failed you if you haven't seen Mystery Skull animated. Um, okay, I guess we're fixing that. So, um, Chai has like a broken arm at the beginning, and he ends up in he's signing up for the Vandalay Industries robot plan or whatever, where they're gonna like turn him into a robot or something, and it fails, and um his little like Sony Walkman like MP3 player thing gets like put into his heart, and now he's like got the music in his soul, you know what I mean? And he's able to like he now has a robot arm instead of his broken arm, and he's able to form like a guitar shaped melee weapon out of junk. And this other character named Peppermint, voiced by Erica Lindbeck, comes into it, and she has this little cat shaped drone thing that follows you around. So you get a little kitty cat companion that can turn into a little orb and float around. And when it's floating around, it also has a little pulsating light that goes with it that you can also look at to keep track of the beat of the music. So it's in the music, you can hear it, and it's your HUD UI and it's the cat all doing the beat at the same time, so you can kind of keep track of it. And you're supposed to attack in rhythm with the beat, and your attacks are more effective if you do that. And there's certain combos you can only do if you're attacking in timing with the rhythm. And
That sounds like an
so
ingenious combat system, actually.
it is
Like
so goddamn fun.
I feel like there's an Evangelion episode where they have to synchronize their movements to music to fight properly. I feel like it's kind of like that. I haven't actually watched Evangelion. I only remember that one clip, so maybe I'm
I don't
misremembering.
remember. I don't remember that. It must have been in the broadcast, which I have seen the broadcast version, but it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, it was like the
Um,
OG version. Yeah.
yeah. So, uh, the style of the music is like really fun. Like it's a really banger soundtrack, and every stage has a different BGM, and so every stage is gonna have like a slightly different beat and rhythm you have to try to match.
Right.
And so, but imagine the BGM has like drums and some electrical instruments and maybe bass going on, like it's ever present in the background. But then there's another layer that is this sick electric guitar track that's a part of it, but you only hear that part of the track when you're attacking. So it's always there, but it only comes in as you're attacking. So you might hear the barrel, 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 barrel as like as you're attacking, it like comes in. And it's so cool. And then
I've been going around swinging my
so
sword just so I can shred the guitar.
yeah, uh, Vandalay Industries might be a Seinfeld reference.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if that's the same Vandalay Industries they're referring to, but it was very funny if it is. And you go up against the first boss, who is a giant robot, of course. And they introduce the boss, and then you see a little music video style credits at the bottom, where it's like the name of the track, the music artist, and the record label. And the record label just ends up being the game's soundtrack, but it's like blah 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 song, Nine Inch Nails. And I'm like, dude, let's fucking go. All right. And so I'm like, there's licensed music in this that's like we're back from the days of Quake and Trent Reznor doing a video game soundtrack.
Right.
So
Sir Isaac says he's having to head out. All right, later. Good night, man. Hope everything goes well with the job hunt.
thanks for tuning in.
See you next time. Dude, that like is it too much to ask for a Dragon Force song and all this?
Uh, I mean, who knows? I haven't beat the game yet, so who knows? But I'm still pretty early on.
They get Dragon Force for Dan to Dan. Can we get Dragon Force for Hi-Fi Rush? Like
Yeah,
DLC mission or Hi-Fi Rush 2? Dude,
that
like
would be like
let me shred
now.
two
That
heroes of
would
our
be
time.
like that would be like Kaizo Hi-Fi Rush is what that would be. Because trying to keep up with that beat would just be insane. But
I did it back in Guitar Hero 3. I can do it again.
yeah, and so we beat that boss, and we're introduced to the president of Vanillay Industries and like all the other bosses we're gonna have to fight in the game, and it's quite a diverse cast of interesting characters whose designs I absolutely love. Um, the Vanillay boss is like very much portrayed as like this corporate oligarch who you can't wait to kick his smug ass kind of thing, and everybody else is has a specific role within the corporation. And so the first person we fight in the next stage is this woman who's in charge of production. So she's in charge of all the robots being made. And she is this monstrous, muscular woman named Rekka, who I'm sure pun is fully intended. And I'm like, oh man, I'm so looking forward to this boss fight against her. And that stage, that the second stage is like a much more proper stage where the enemies actually feel really challenging. There's enemies that can like uh, they can hit you really hard, and it's one of those games where you can die super quickly if you're not if you have a bad streak of timing or you are not paying attention. But your checkpoints are very forgiving, so it's one of those games that's like hard but not punishing, and I like that about it. I like that balance. I'm also not playing it on the hardest difficulty. I'm playing it on normal because the the timing of the rhythm and everything is less forgiving on the harder difficulties. You have to be more precise on the harder difficulties. That's one of the things that's harder about it. Um, so I'm not going quite that crazy, especially not for a first run. But
That's to be expected with a lot of rhythm games, though. It's either like the two biggest rhythm games that I've experienced with are Guitar Hero and Friday Night Funkin'. And on Guitar
mhm,
Hero, it was if you hit it, you hit it. And Friday Night Funkin', it was you if you hit it while it's like perfectly lined up, like the arrow with the arrow box, you get a higher score than if you just hit it while it's in the vague vicinity. And I'm like, oh, precise button mashing. It's me trying to master Ject into Dissidia all over again.
yeah,
Still haven't mastered that, by the
you
way.
can't do it, kid.
I can't. I can't do it, man. I tried.
um,
I tried. Still better.
that's why I'm the best.
Still better with him than I am with X-Death or Prish, though. So that is what it is.
Yeah. So the enemies were a lot harder in this stage, and it really felt like there were enemy types that were forcing me to do dynamic things, and it wasn't just like, oh, you can just whack this guy to death kind of thing. Air juggling enemies is super easy. This is really just a new era like Platinum Games hack and slash with a rhythm game attached to it, and it's so awesome. And I'm gonna tell you my aha moment from this stage. So, a mechanic is introduced in the second stage that is um, these jump pads,
Mm-hmm.
uh, where you have to again hit the timing to reach the top using the jump pad.
Yes.
You only get the maximum amount of height if you do it on the exact timing. And so when you jump on it, you see a little red circle with a green circle closing in on it, and you know when the two circles line
Yep.
up is when you have to hit the button to hit it again and go higher. So it's a visual thing. And so I get to one of these right before the boss against Rekka, and I see that it's like jump pad and it has a little X4 above it. I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to hit this 4 times in a row to get up there. And I keep failing it on the second one. I'm like, okay, good, okay, fail, okay, good, okay, fail, and I can't get past the second tier. And so I'm just like, I am listening to the beat. I'm listening to the boom, 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 boom of the music. And so I start tapping on the left side of the Steam Deck's shell with my left thumb, just tapping to the beat, not hitting any buttons, just tapping on the shell.
Yeah.
And then I take both my thumbs. I start going like this, and I lower the Steam Deck down. I look away from the screen, and I go boom, 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 and I get it on the first try by looking away from the screen. And I was like, that was one of the coolest things I've done in a game in a long time. Because and Michelle was sitting right next to me, laying in bed when I did this, and I was just start laughing, and she's like, "What is it?" Like that was one of the coolest things I've ever done. Because I did that without looking at the screen, because that was the game teaching me to be like, listen for the beat, and like feel the flow more so than like look for some
Yeah.
visual cue on the screen kind of thing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that is genuinely so cool. Um, so I'm anticipating having many other moments like that. Um, so we fight Rekka, and I couldn't tell you the name of the artist that does her song, but it's another piece of licensed music, just not an artist I recognize.
Yeah.
Super fun fight. I beat her on the second try, and then our protagonist accidentally calls a conference call with the rest of the Vandelay people from her office, and so all of them see you, they see who you are and everything, and I get a good look at all the other characters there. And let me tell you something, I have a new video game crush.
Someone
So,
has overturned. What's her name from Fire Emblem? Someone has dethroned her.
no, they
No.
can exist alongside each other. And this is just another one to add to the PowerPoint presentation of all the characters I'm obsessed with. So the security administrator for Vandalay, do not blank on her name right now. Oh my God, Corsica is her name, and she's got like red hair all done in a crazy spike, and she like fights with two like whippy ass sticks. And I was in love with her design when I first saw her, and then she talks, and she's Irish, and I'm like, oh my God,
Looking at her design right
I
now.
love this. You're looking her up.
Yep.
So, and I have a little bit of a spoiler about this game. I'll throw the spoiler tag up right now. Um, so I know that after your boss fight with her, she becomes one of the good guys and becomes like part of your team.
Heck yeah.
Um, so I had that part spoiled for me, and I think I was like curious about this character before I even like saw her in game. But now that I've seen her have the context, I'm like, let's fucking go. So, um, I am really excited to play more of this game. I wanted to play more of it last night, but I actually had to work. I had to work yesterday, and so today is day 2 out of 6 for me, unfortunately. And I ended up being too tired by the time I was ready to lay down to actually play more of it last night. But I'm very much looking forward to playing more of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, having to work 6 days in a row sucks. Bree used to do that on the regular, but sometimes if I request a weekend off, I'll just end up working 6 to 8 days in a row. You know,
Hmm.
I asked off a free comic book day to get the Mega Man comic, and my off day was today. And the way my work week works is that it ends on Friday and starts on Saturday. So that means I'm working Tuesday through Friday with no break, and I'll probably end up working Saturday and Sunday. So my next off day will probably be next Monday or next Tuesday. So yeah, right there with you, bud.
I did that a lot back in the day in the retail days. For me to work a weekend day in this industry is pretty unusual. Um, and really, I think they only asked me to do it to try to squeeze in an extra day of productivity out of me, because of the fact that they're having to give us Memorial Day off. So it feels a little
Ah,
scummy, but I do feel like I'm a little bit ahead for the month, which is nice because I don't have to worry as much going into MomoCon.
makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Is that all you got for Hi-Fi Rush, or you got a little more to add to that?
That is pretty much it. I'm
All right.
really, really, really looking forward to the rest of it. The game has a fantastic sense of humor. It is, oh man, there was something funny that, oh, there was a really funny moment with the tutorial robot thing. So there's like a refrigerator looking ass robot that you make friends with that ends up doing like flavor text for tutorials and all that, like little tool tips.
Yeah.
And they're they say something when Peppermint joins you and everything. They say something like, "Have you been experiencing strange medical symptoms, like voices inside your head?" And you're like, "No, no, that's Peppermint. She's my friend." It's like, okay, well, this Peppermint person, it's like a placeholder voice line of the robot being like Peppermint, and it's really funny the way it's delivered. I can't remember the exact quote, but it got a good laugh out of me. The game has a great sense of humor that will not feel dated. It
It
reminds me
just
again a lot of
it's kind of reminding me of that opening scene from Portal 2 where Wheatley's talking to
yes,
Chell, and he's like, "Say
yeah.
apple. Press space to say apple. You jump." Okay, great. You've got brain damage. Something like
Yeah.
that. It feels like
Good
that.
morning. You have been asleep for 9, 9, 9, 9. But yeah, I highly, highly recommend this game.
It goes
It's a
on sale
shame
pretty
that
frequently, doesn't it?
probably.
Yeah. So
It's a
I'll keep a
shame
look
that
on it. Yeah.
yeah, it's a shame that the Tango GameWorks kind of went through the tumble dryer a little bit after this game released because it was very critically acclaimed, very consumer acclaimed, and I wish it had a wider release. It was exclusive to the new Xbox on release and was pretty much one of the only games that was good on the exclusive to the Xbox Series X and S. And then, of course, it eventually came to Steam. But I think because of all the Tango GameWorks nonsense, they canceled the PS5 and Switch ports. But I think the game is now owned by a different publisher because of what happened with
Uh,
Bethesda and Microsoft and Tango GameWorks.
Crafton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at my chat, and Master Chief's giving us some backstory on the goings on about Hi-Fi Rush, uh, about like the game's like who owns the rights, and comparing it to another game called No Straight Roads. Apparently, it's also a musical beat 'em up that was released
Yeah.
before Hi-Fi Rush, uh, and Microsoft sold Tango GameWorks and Hi-Fi Rush to Crafton.
Yeah, so we Michelle and I own a copy of No Straight Roads. She is a big fan of the music in that game, but we haven't actually played it ourselves yet. But we will someday.
Well, you can jump on it right when you get done with Hi-Fi Rush then, because it sounds like they are kind of tangentially similar. So there you go.
hmm
All right. So caught up with chat. Now is my next talking point. Charlotte, an anime that not a lot of people have heard about. So, how do I describe this one? Long story short, the basic premise is that some people are born with superpowers and they manifest when they are kids, but by the time they become adults, the superpowers disappear and they just outgrow them basically. And I say superpowers, they call them abilities throughout the entire thing. Each one has a bit of a drawback to it though. So, for example, you have this one guy who has super speed, but he can't control it very well when he chooses to use it. So what he does is
Oh
he
no.
pads himself up with like Kevlar armor underneath his school uniform. So he's like, "Oh, there's a long lunch line. I want to grab what's at the front of the line so it won't sell out." You see him take off, and then he just leaves like a trail of destruction behind him as he's running. You see an impact on the wall because he ran into it, and then suddenly he's standing back beside you, but now he's like covered in blood in like a very comedic fashion. He's like, I got the sandwich. It's like, yeah, but you crushed it because you can't control your strength while you're doing super speed. Yeah, sorry. That to give you that kind of idea. Another one is this character has the ability to turn invisible to one person. So she's like, I want to beat that guy up. And she's just like beating snot out of him, but everyone else is just watching her like, okay, she's assaulting that guy. Call the police.
Yeah.
So that's the basic idea. Now, the thing is, this series will hit you with a couple of really heavy plot twists back to back. And I'm not going to spoil what it is, because, again, this is one of those, I think it's worth a weekend to take to watch it. It's relatively short, 24 episodes, kind of average for an anime. Take a weekend, give it a watch. I will tell you what Charlotte means, though, because it's not the name of any of the characters. As you can see from the graphic that I put up, there are shooting stars. Charlotte is the name of a comet that passes by the Earth, and it is what imbued all those people with superpowers. It was like their parents were exposed to radiation from the comet, and that caused their children to be born with superpowers. If I remember correctly, that's how it goes. And that's exactly a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference, because what gives people stands is a virus that came from space attached to a meteor, and the meteor was gave off, like, again, it's got this virus in it, and if you come into contact with either it or the arrowheads that were forged from the meteor's metal, then you will get a fever, you'll get sick, and if your body is strong enough to overcome the virus, you develop a stand and a stand ability. And in Charlotte, it's the same thing. They were exposed to cosmic radiation from a shooting star, they developed a fever, and then they suddenly have superpowers. It's a JoJo reference without being a one-to-one exact same thing kind of deal.
It all comes back to JoJo, which therefore comes back to Twin Peaks.
Indeed. The setup, or the main story, is that the protag has an ability to where he can possess anyone that he can have within his line of sight. He doesn't have to make eye contact, but he just has to see them, and he can possess them. Therefore, he's had this ability his whole life, and he's never tried at anything he's done. He's never tried to study really hard. He has always just jumped into someone's body and used the 5-second time limit he has to copy their answers, and then he will jump back to his body, write it on his piece of paper, and then he'll jump into everyone else around him. I don't remember if there was the handicap that it doesn't work on the same person more than once, or if it was just that he did it to other people to not look suspicious. But he would jump into everyone else to copy their answers. He was straight A student, even though he was kind of lazy and he wasn't overly smart, but he was a good cheater. So you finally get to this point in the story where his test scores are higher than everyone else's, but now people are suspicious. And there's this student from another school is like, okay, we're going to have you take the test again, but this time I'm going to be in the room with you and watch you take the test. It's only going to be you. So we want to make sure that, you're not cheating. And he goes to take the test, and he's like, okay, well, he has my old test on the desk with him, so that way he wants me to put the same answers on the test. I'm just going to possess his body, speed read my test, and then fill out the answers again. He does so, but then as soon as he comes back to his own body, there's a girl with a camcorder standing next to his desk. Is like, we got you on tape. Is the girl who can cloak herself to a single person. So she was imperceptible to him, but she caught the whole thing on video. And then they're like, yeah, so we have superpowers. We want to take you to this school over here as a means of protection, because if scientists or the military finds out that kids have superpowers, what do you think they're going to do? So this is like Xavier School for the Gifted, where we shelter you until you outgrow your powers kind of deal. There's no Professor X. There is no X-Men analog, but I just use that mostly just for the reference. It's the thing of it's a school filled with people who have low-level superpowers, and they go around helping other people who have said superpowers. That's the premise of it. I'm not going to give away any other major plot elements, because again, it does throw you a couple of massive curveballs just out of nowhere, and it'll leave you wanting more. And I do think it's a good watch. I think it's a good weekend or a good week-long project, and it does get you in the feels a bit toward the ending. Heck, and in the
Yeah,
middle, and in the very middle.
the only thing that I know about this show is it is the next show by the creators of Angel Beats.
Yeah, Master Chief says that uh, in my chat over here. Developed by a joint between PA Works and Key.
Yeah, and Key was the studio that made Angel Beats. Yeah.
Yes, I thought the art style looked a little similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Well, what made you decide to pick that show to watch?
Bree was recommended it by a friend, and she watched the first couple episodes, and she thought that we should watch it together. So we did, and I enjoyed it. And
Cool.
I thought it'd just be cool to add to stuff that we've been watching because the entire point of this podcast is to talk about media that we've been consuming lately. I was like, here you go. Here's a little thing to have for just a little preview of what it's like.
Yeah. Is an interesting one because it's like not brand new, like it didn't come out like yesterday,
Yeah, no,
but
it's
it's
like
also not like super nostalgic.
2014,
2015?
2014 around that time. Well, let me double check.
Yeah, I think it was 2015 from what I saw when I looked it up earlier.
Correct. Yeah, 2015. Only 13 episodes, really? I thought it was like 24. Huh, it's even shorter than I thought. Maybe that's season 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's also
Good deal. Anything else on that?
there's also an OVA that I apparently haven't watched yet. I need to jump on that. I don't think the OVA is on Crunchyroll. Yeah, I haven't seen the OVA of this yet. I don't know if it's on Crunchyroll. I might have to look for it somewhere else. But there's more to watch. Okay. No, that's all the notes I got for Charlotte. Anything else is major spoilery, and I'm not doing that because I want people to watch. Like, if they are interested, I want them to watch this one themselves.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we are approaching the end here. The biggest thing coming, I guess, the next two topics are the things that are coming down the pipeline for us in terms of videos, because I am actively working on the Dragon Quest Heroes video as part of the Muso retrospective, and I have recorded, I think, about 6 hours of the gameplay footage for it, and so I'm like getting there. I'm like 2/3 of the way through the main story in terms of the recording goes, and I'm cooking with the script. I'm really liking a lot of the early parts of the script quite a lot because, like I talked about with Transformers Devastation, it's so much easier to write for something you're really passionate about, and I'm glad I waited until now to work on this because it has been a really seamless, like flowing process, and that is normally not the case when I'm like juggling cosplay crunching before MomoCon and trying to work on a video at the same time, because I was gonna be like, oh yeah, well I'll get done with all my cosplay stuff and then I'll work on the Dragon Quest Heroes video in the summer. But I'm already like making pretty big progress on. I'll be ready to start doing commentary pretty soon. So pretty much as soon as that con is over,
Heck yeah.
that video will be like probably, I don't want to say, I don't want to make any promises, but it might be like mid-June and that video will be done. So I'm having a great time playing it as well. Like the game is legitimately really fun. I love the Dragon Quest brand. There's mechanics and strategies that I'm using in this run that I did not know about or did not take advantage of in my first time playing the game. And yeah, I think it rocks.
Awesome.
I'm really looking forward to talking about it.
I'm looking forward to it too. I'm missing the Muso retrospective. Transformers retrospective is over. You got the Nightow retrospective. That one's kind of slowed down a little bit though. But I'm really excited for the next Muso one because I really want to hear what you have to say about Dynasty Warriors Gundam. And in the background, I've got a, like I said, I have just about all the games that were released in English. And if you want extra footage from the other games, just hit me up and I will do what I can because
Yeah.
that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, the reason why I haven't made the Gungrave Overdose video yet is I have some footage of it, but I was waiting to see if I could get the backwards compatible base model PS3 that we have working, to where I could get HDMI recorded footage of the game.
For PS2.
But yeah, but the console is currently a brick,
Ah.
and I opened it up in early 2024, I think, to try to fix that issue, but encountered a problem where I was able to replace the thermal paste, but not the capacitors. And so it's on my list to like order those capacitors and try to replace those to see if that fixes the yellow light of death. And if it does, then I'll record Gungrave Overdose on the backwards compatible PS3 via HDMI. And if that doesn't work, I will just record it off the PS2, and y'all can deal with
Uh,
4:3 footage instead of 16:9 footage.
they make HDMI converters for PS2 that work pretty decently well. Um, like I could probably point you in the right direction of one. Some of them do allow for PS1 recording, some don't. I don't know what the distinction is, but PS1 is just weird like that. Um,
PS1 I wouldn't have to really worry about because I can just put a PS1 game in my my regular PS3, my slim PS3, and it will do HDMI out.
the thing is, even if you do that, you're gonna need to run it through an HDMI splitter to get it to work. I don't know why, but PS1 just does not want to be recorded. Like I have tried that before. Like you,
Well, I think I think the PS3 might have encrypted HDMI.
it does, so you have to disable that first. But even if you disable that, sometimes like PS1 games just don't want to go through the HDMI, and you have to either run it through a splitter or you have to have a certain type of HDMI adapter to do so. Because back when we were doing Mega Man Legends on PS2, or it's a PS1 game running on the PS2, one specific HDMI adapter wouldn't run it, the other one would. And then there's one time when we were doing our Transformers streams, I wanted to have Beast Wars on PS1 going, but I was like, oh, this isn't working. The PS3 is not outputting the visuals. Okay, I'm gonna play this game instead. So I was trying to run it from the PS3 because it's got the built-in HDMI, but the PS1 component wasn't working like through the game capture. So PS1 is weird with HDMI. I don't know what the technical reason is, but it is a thing. And I think I accidentally just shifted my camera a little bit. Whoops. Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple theories as to why that might be, but it's not an issue I've had recently at all with that.
Well, good. Good. I'm glad. Hope you don't. All right. So, anything else on or not Fire Emblem, Dragon Quest Heroes, or is just a little sneak peek of what's to come for later?
That's pretty much it without going on huge tangents about what's in the script.
Right.
I'm hoping that. Oh, I guess just like I don't know. I had a couple of other bouts of inspiration for video projects, but again, it's one of those things where I am, for the benefit of my mental health, like not engaging too much in like real world events right now. And like
Yeah.
some of the, like I had a really good video idea plan that was just going to be about like the enshittification of social media platforms, which is a topic that a lot of people are talking about right now, and I wanted to give my own take on it. But I couldn't bring myself to continue writing the script for the time being because I'm like, this is just so depressing, and I just can't with this. So I'm focusing on fun topics like niche video games. You know, that's kind of where I'm going to be at, I think, for the rest of this year. And if I stay the course with that, I think I can probably get the Dragon Quest Heroes video, the Fire Emblem Warriors video, and the Berserk and the Band of the Hawk video done this year, which means I will have like a trifecta of some of my favorite pieces of media ever back to back, which is going to just be a nice treat after, like, there's not going to be anything I'm going to make this year where I'm going to feel like I'm forcing myself to make it.
Right.
It's going to be all gas.
Yeah, I'm also really looking forward to the Berserk video because I know you really, really love that manga. So I want to see how you like the games that they produce because you've had some heavy criticisms for the animes. So I want to see your take on the games at least.
Oh yeah, I am very much looking forward to sharing that feedback. I do have some thoughts, and I also have the so there's three main Berserk games. There's the Dreamcast one, which is localized as a Sword of Berserk Guts' Rage. and there's a sequel to that game on the PS2 that never got localized, which I think is just called like Berserk, Millennium Falcon, Hen, etc. I do have that one. I have to play it with the swap disc because it's not translated, but it's actually pretty good. And then third is the Berserk Muso. Um, so I will at least be doing some comparisons between the Berserk Millennium Falcon arc PS2 game and the uh, Muso game. Not a Star Wars reference, but we could just squeeze that in there while we're at it.
All right. So, my last bit of media to talk about tonight, Mega Man Star Force. That's part of what my core audience comes to me for. The sequel to Mega Man Battle Network. I have recently finished replaying the first game and watching the first half of the first series of the anime because the anime did things weird. So with the anime, they localized the first half of it in English, and the second half just kind of fell off, leaving a whole lot of plot points unresolved. It just wasn't popular enough to get the rest of it English dubbed, I guess. I already made a full video on it, saw the triumphant return of Gogglehead reviews, and I am also working on getting my Fate Zero reviews unblocked. Season 1, Part 2 is ready to post. Season 2 is still getting edits right now. But what I want to talk about mostly was the big disparation. Is that the word? When there is like big differences between things? The disparity? I might be using words that don't exist. But I think it's one of those cases where the anime and the game were being worked on simultaneously because while some of them do have similar plot beats, like while both works have similar plot beats between them or similar characters, their motivations are different, the way they react is totally different, and just going by what I've seen so far, I'm like, it almost borderline feels disrespectful given the subject matter and the core thesis of what the game is. But if they were just being worked on at the same time and the anime is not a direct adaptation of the game, that's a little bit different. Because the main bulk of Mega Man Star Force, a joke I was making all throughout our whole streaming of the first game is Mega Man group therapy. Because this game really does delve into the ideas of coping with loss, learning to open yourself back up to others, helping others grow and mature by helping them with their problems. Because the main protag is Geostellar. He's 11 years old. And 3 years ago, when he was 8, his dad was on a space station that was destroyed, and he is either dead or lost in space. We don't know what happened to him at the start of the game. And so little kid Geo here completely closed himself off to everybody else. He doesn't talk to people. He doesn't go to school. He barely talks to his own mom. And only thing he ever does is go to this place in his town with a really nice view and look at the stars, hoping that someday he'll see his dad, like, coming back to Earth. Like, bro is in complete emotional shutdown because of this. And they don't really translate that well in the anime. And it's not even just an English dub thing, because the English dub is actually surprisingly close to the Japanese version, even to the point to where he accidentally says Rockbuster instead of Megabuster in at least one scene. So I'm like,
Oh wow.
okay, sure. But Geo bounces back way too easily in the anime compared to how he does in the games. Like, he is willing to talk to his dad's friend, Aaron Boreal. And I'm like, going by the games, no, Aaron had to strong-arm him into coming to his laboratory to look at his space stuff. Whereas in the anime, they are already kind of buddies. And given the flashback, it doesn't look like a full 3 years has passed. It's only been confirmed to be one full school year since Geo stopped going. And he is way too talkative to everyone else compared to how he is in the game. And I'm like, if these were made at the same time, or if these are made at the same time working on the same set of notes, then that's one thing. There's just the teams came up with two different conclusions of how the character should act. But if the anime is a direct adaptation of the game, that comes across as just a little bit disrespectful. Because it's like, he's supposed to... The entire point of the game is him being able to claw his way out of this pit that he's fallen into, learning to open himself up to people again. because he flat out says that he doesn't want to get close to people because he knows that if he does, they're just going to leave him or betray him someday. And that does eventually happen. He does get some friends, and then he's on the verge of making friends with like the fourth character, and the fourth character reveals, surprise plot twist, I'm actually working for the bad guys, and I only befriended you to get close to you because you have the plot MacGuffin we need. So I metaphorically and literally trying to stab you in the back. And it's like, I didn't want to do it, but I kind of had to. But unlike the others who, okay, this is getting into mechanics and stuff. The way that Mega Man actually works is you have the human Geo, and then you have this alien made of electromagnetic waves named Omegasis. That's where the Mega comes from. They do a fusion dance, and they become Mega Man, and they exist in the electromagnetic world. That's how they do things. So other aliens from the planet FM, yes, like the radio waves, they can find a human, and if they are of similar wavelength, they can possess them and take control of their body and do as they will. But the character who betrays you, he knew, like he was in his right mind when he took on this wave change form, and he knowingly led you into this trap. He knowingly stabbed you in the back. And Geo's heart was just completely shattered. He's like, this is why I didn't want to let myself get close to anybody, because they would either leave me or betray me. And he just, again, tries to close himself off to everyone else again. He falls back down to that pit, but he does eventually crawl back out of it by game's end. And in this game, there's this thing called link power, which is if you have a strong enough bond formed with somebody, then it literally gives you power. It's like the power of friendship, but given material form. And Geo is in the final stretch of the game. He is on a spaceship. He has defeated the final boss. He's on the space station where his dad went missing. And he is about to try to go back to Earth, but then suddenly the module he's on has a power failure, and it breaks off from the rest of the space station, and now he's just adrift in space. He's got oxygen, but who knows for how long, and he has no way of flying it back to Earth. So, what his friends do is they take their wrist-mounted smartphones, and they use their link power to create an energy cable that connects to his all the way out in space, and they pull him back to Earth. The power of friendship literally brought him back to Earth. And in that moment, like, it sounds goofy when you say it like that, but that's for the uninitiated. And then in that moment, he says, Dad, I understand how strong bonds are. I think I'm finally ready to let go and move on. And I'm like, there we go. That's good, strong character development, because it deals with depression from loss. It gives him a full arc of learning to trust people again, having that trust betrayed, and regressing, and then bouncing back from it. And then when we get into the second game, we get introduced to the rival character, who is the perfect antithesis to this. And then I'm looking at the anime, and I'm like, well, I mean, you got the characters here, but they're not characterized as well as they were in the game. Like, the major betrayal character wasn't as close with Geo in the anime as he was in the game, so it doesn't hit as hard. Again, Geo's way more social than he was. Let me look it up real quick. Let me double check, see when they were both released. So I can check, like, because you got to take into account, making an episode of anime takes a very long time, because you not only have to do the voice acting, you also got to do the animation, the sound design, the whole 9 yards. So the first game was released in... I think the first game was released in 2006 or 2007. Uh, 2006 in Japan in December. Okay. And the TV series premiered in Japan in October of 2006. So the anime actually predates the game by a little bit. So yeah, I think they were just working off the same set of notes, but they're not coherent together. Like, they don't tell the same... They tell the same base story, but don't get the same message across in both. And for the message that the game is trying to tell, I really think the game is the superior medium here. It's not so much an adaptation as it is a different spin based on the same writer's Bible, I guess, or based on the same notes.
Yeah, it's really interesting how, with the different form of medium, being the more simple top down like DS game with sprites and text boxes, how it can convey a more emotional story than the thing that's like fully animated with voice acting and everything. But
Right.
judging by your video about the anime, um, that was something I kind of felt as well, where it's like tone wise, it seems like a little bit off, where the tone of the Star Force anime feels very, um,
It's
it,
goofy.
it, it feels very kid focused, and like it's
Absolutely.
kind of has this like this like Monster of the Day kind of vibe to it a little bit.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't seem like it had the tone or the subject matter that like grieving and loss and like coming of age and emotional maturity and stuff like that just didn't seem like they were as heavy elements of that series. So
Not nearly. And honestly, the anime like suffered because of it. Again, I haven't finished watching the second half of it yet, but from what I have watched and what I have like seen and read about it, the emotional conclusion is still not the same. Like we do find out what did happen to Gio's father, but it's not the same. Like he doesn't get the same. Oh, I'm adrift in space, and the people that I have formed bonds with on Earth are literally saving my life in this moment, kind of deal. Where if he didn't already think it was worth it, now he knows for 100% that it's worth it because they saved his life not only by doing the whole power friendship, give Goku the spirit bomb energy during the final boss fight, but also I'm adrift in space. I have no way to get back home. Power of friendship like pulls him down back to Earth, kind of deal.
yeah,
And what is great about the sequel game is when we get Rogue introduced. So other characters have to form a bond with an electromagnetic entity to create their battle form, whereas you get this character named Solo. He has the ability to electromagnetic wave change without another being, and his name is Rogue in that form. And he is the antithesis to Geo's Link power because he is such a super edge lord character that he forsakes all bonds to the point to where it becomes a tangible force field that protects him from all attacks. His loneliness and unwillingness to get close to people is a physical barrier. And there is a moment where, at a point in the game, he's like, my beef is no longer with you. My beef is with the fact that you have friends, and I'm going to teach you the bonds are weakness. And
yeah.
I see him as like the
Did I
perfect.
tell you?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that? That's literally the AT field from Evangelion.
I think you might have mentioned it, but I haven't seen Evangelion,
That
so I don't get the 100%
Yeah,
connection
because
there.
I feel like this was a note for like an iceberg or something that you wanted to make mention of or something. I remember us talking about it, but the AT field in Evangelion, so it stands for Absolute Terror Field,
Right.
and it is a literal physical barrier. Like they use it in the mecha versus alien fights as like a physical barrier, but what it is thematically in the show is the the emotional barrier that you put up to prevent yourself from being hurt by other people.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like
Yeah.
Rogue as a character doesn't really have bonds with anybody. We never get a lot on his backstory and why he is so insistent on being alone. But when he is given that ability, like they say, when if you take this power, then you will never have a bond with anyone because they will never be able to get close to you in a metaphysical or in an actual physical sense. And he's like, I have no friends anyway. Bring it. So yeah,
Hmm.
that does basically feel exactly like that.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting concept for sure.
Yeah, I think that Rogue serves as like I've said this before, but like maybe not to you, but like to others who have talked about it with. He is the perfect dark mirror to Geo, to what Geo could have become if he gained power, but without forming bonds. And that's why I love him as an antagonist so much. Yes, he is just edgy. Edgelord is edgy, and a lot of his backstory, like where he is from, is paper thin. But I love what he represents as a concept, especially when in Star Force 2, like one of the plot points is that he pulls up to your hometown And he's like, all right, we fighting. And your friends come up and they're like, yeah, let's kick his butt. And he's like, oh, I didn't say you could join. Opens up a black hole beneath them and drops them on different parts of the planet, and you have to watch while it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a tiny spoiler, but I'm like, it's part of the story you're going to get to anyway. There's nothing you can do to stop it. But it's just that sheer moment of terror when Gio is like, I'm about to lose the people I care about most just to this guy who just pulled up because he hates me because I got friends. That honestly kind of is the summary of Star Force 2 right there. But again, I didn't say Star Force 2 had the best writing, but I love the concept of it all.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I played Star Force 3, so I don't have a lot to say about that other than some of the best character designs in the game. Absolutely. But I will elaborate more on the disparity between the games and the anime when I get around to part 2 of that review, which covers the... Oh, there goes my microphone. When I get around to part 2 of the video, that covers the subtitled only cut. That covers the rest of it, and because I have beaten the first game now, the dialogue and all that is a little more fresh on my mind, so I can make the comparison better. My microphone.
Awesome. Well, we're getting ready to wrap things up here. I need to go to bed because I am getting up around approximately 5 in the morning.
Yeah, and your time it's about 11 o'clock about now, so.
Almost, yeah. So I'm in for a rough one tomorrow.
Right.
But this was a lot of fun. I was really looking forward to this.
Do you want to do?
I'm going to spring this on you. Yeah. I'm going to spring this on you live here while we are talking. Do you want to do the next episode during MomoCon?
I had thought about it. We had pitched the idea back and forth. It's going to be a feasibility thing. It's going to be can we work it into the schedule? If we can, absolutely. I got to check on my engagements beforehand because I'm part of a group cosplay at least one day out of the weekend. And during the fashion show, I got to be Bree's photographer and videographer while she's there. I want to get every shot I can while she's on the runway. So if we can do it, then absolutely. If not, then no sweat. But I would love to. Like I've always wanted to do stuff live from a con. You know, that's one thing I really like to do.
I would say we could definitely do it. So again, my cosplay plans are only slightly different in the sense that I just did not have the time to even start my new cosplay.
Yeah.
Elaine from Unicorn Overlord. So I was just remaking old stuff, remaking Hector from Fire Emblem, remaking Charlemagne, remaking Michelle's Xion armor from Tales of Arise.
Right.
But not even starting on Elaine yet. So I don't have as booked of a cosplay schedule as I did. So I'm free in the morning. I'm free. We could do something at 9 or 10 a.m. on Friday or something like that if that doesn't conflict with your schedule.
I'm going to be there on Thursday, so I'll double check on it for Friday. I think the fashion show is on Saturday. I'll double check and I'll get back to you with that.
Okay, just let me know. And if we can make that work, I will hand deliver to you your media recommendation for June.
All right, so I'll say mine for you then too. That's what I was going to ask about next. I was going to say, do you want to do that now or do you want to do that later?
Oh, well, so we can go ahead and do one now, but your next one is what for that episode is what I'm just going to hand deliver it to you. And,
all right.
Yeah. So my recommendation for this go around, and again, no pressure to finish this between now and then, especially because we are technically already in the same calendar month that the next episode will be if we do it at MomoCon.
Right.
So it's less time than it otherwise would be. But this is it's a piece of media that you already own and that you've already played some of. So it's just get a little bit further, get to the next part of the story.
All right.
I would love to see you continue Fate Extella.
All right, I could probably do that solo. Rio and I definitely want to stream the rest of that. Our stream backlog is longer than the rest of my lifespan, but I could do that in my downtime. I could create a second profile and do it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is you guys can still do the stream, but because it's been so many years since you guys started it, within reason, might
Yeah.
be an idea to go ahead and see if you can get further in the story. I would like to, unless you're starting it from like the absolute beginning, I would like to see you at least get to the Dawn arc.
I'm pretty sure
But
that
no pressure.
because his PS4 died and took our save file with it, on my save file, I've at least gotten far enough to have unlocked Artoria, which means that I've had to go through like at least the first 1 or 2 missions, but I haven't played much past that. I really do want to play this, and I have the collector's edition of Fate Extell Link, but haven't opened it. It's still shrink wrapped on my shelf. So
Oh wow.
yeah, that's eventually. But yeah, I'll
Yeah, and I know that I know that you already are aware of most of the plot from my video.
yes, yeah,
But I definitely would like for you to experience the moment to moment stuff on your own and see how you feel about it. So
yeah.
I would say just get as far as you can, and then play it at your own pace and don't feel pressure to get super far. But I would definitely would like to hear what you have to say about the later parts of the story.
Yeah. All right, I can do that. All right, so you ready for my recommendation to you?
Let's hear it.
Beast Wars.
Okay.
I know you have said that you are embarrassed of the visuals, but stomach the visuals and enjoy the writing, the storytelling, and the character development. And trust me, the visuals get better with Season 2. Or a better way to phrase it is they are easier on the eyes in Season 2 because what makes the visuals so bad is that they try to animate, like, they CGI create these semi-realistic looking animals in their beast forms, and they don't look good in motion, or at least the Maximals don't. But when Season 2 comes around, that's when we had to bring in the new toy line, so more than half the cast got upgraded to Transmetal versions, which means they're now metal rather than being like fur and skin. And they also took away the plot point of, Energon overload, so we constantly have to be in beast mode when we're not fighting. They took that away, so they spend more time in robot mode. So in Season 2 and 3, it gets visually easier on the eyes. So
yeah, they look more like the toys.
Yes, yes. So
Right.
it just, again, stomach the visuals the best you can, but the story, the writing, it is super fantastic. And I've actually had the Beast Wars brainworms for a while. I, like, in the back of my head, I'm like, when am I going to do that top 10 Beast Wars episode video? When am I going to do the video just gushing about Code of Hero? When am I going to get around to doing this about Beast Wars? And I'm like, I should do it. I should just do it. When am I going to get around to watching Beast Machines? Maybe.
I'm definitely down for this. Problem, where can I watch this? What's the best place I can watch it?
YouTube? I think the official Transformers channel posted it.
Okay.
Let me double check. I'll double check off screen. You know what? If we can't find somewhere for you to stream it, I have the DVDs. I'll let you borrow them.
Okay.
Just be careful with them because they are autographed. Or the cases.
I wouldn't be. That would be one of those where I could start it after MomoCon when I get them from you.
Yes.
But hopefully we can find a legal means of
yes
doing that beforehand. Because yeah, I would be down for that for sure.
Yeah, because like I would love to hear your take on the story beats and all that. And this is one that I feel like we've talked about it like in passing over the years. I feel like it's finally time that it happens.
No, and I'm definitely well aware of the series' reputation of having like some of the best storylines and characterization of any of the Transformers media. It's very well loved for that reason. Mm-hmm. So I do think I will like it if I can get past the visuals. Michelle is saying it's all on YouTube, so that's reassuring.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna have to get Caroline in on this too. Let her know, be like, I'm watching Beast Wars, and like set her the play-by-play because she watched Cybertron.
I want your
play-by-play by episode.
I want your play-by-play as well because I want to be there geeking out with you because I really want to go back and rewatch it again. But I got other stuff on my plate right now, so if I had infinite money and I could fund an animation project, it would be Beast Wars Reanimated. Just keep the same audio track from the original, but get someone to animate it with better looking models. Like we have models from like the War for Cybertron Kingdom, like era.
Yeah.
Like not all of the characters are there, but you get the idea. if someone could make better looking models and better looking sets in like Source Filmmaker or Blender or what have you, if I had the infinite money to pour into that project, I would fund some artist to be like, reanimate this whole thing start to finish. Like, just
Yeah.
use the original track. Just here's all my money. Just do it. Just make it beautiful. That's how much I love this series. Like, I want it reanimated, but keep everything else about it original because it's just
Yeah.
fantastic.
On that note, um, I have been Starcross Souls,
And this is Blade Cross EXE with Flashing Blades Productions.
and this has been the Crossblades podcast. I and we did that. We did that without rehearsing it. That was awesome. Just off the cuff like that. That was exactly what I wanted. There was something else I was gonna say too before we end. Um, I don't know. Episode 2 will be in person, I guess. Presumably, like, hopefully, we'll be able to do it in person at the con. So,
Here's hoping.
all right. I'm gonna cut off the stream now. Thank you guys so much for watching.
All right, peace out, everybody.